on Bettor Sports Live. On another huge night in sports. Boy, we are in a window right now, aren't we? World Series, Thursday Night Football. We have a little bit of basketball tonight. Just a little bit of basketball. Whet your appetite with a little bit of basketball tonight. But it is Rick Kamla, and so happy to be here with you guys and girls. Right now, I've got on the Golden State Warriors are down here 2 hours from where I'm at in Orlando, Florida. I'm in Largo, so right up the road, Central Florida. I do like this club, but I got my eye on this because Golden State's in a bad way right now. They've lost all 4 road games this year. They're 0-4. They're 3-5 overall. Of course, Orlando features my boy, Paulo Banchero. And so I'll have this one. I'll be reacting to it a little bit. 8 o'clock, obviously. We will have Game 5 of the World Series around 8:15 tonight. We will have Thursday Night Football with Philly and Houston. And a lot of stuff to track, man, and a lot of betting advice to let you guys know about right now. So let's get into Game 5 of the World Series. Again, tonight, about 8:03 Eastern. 8:03, I don't know, it might be 8:07, 8:10, I don't know. Somewhere around 8 o'clock Eastern time. It'll be Justin Verlander against Noah Syndergaard, okay? Before we get to Game 5 tonight, though, I want to look back at Game 4, okay? And for some of us revel in the Houston victory over the Phillies. Remember, last night, me and Taylor Mathis, great guest, we both told you that the winner of last night's game was going to win the World Series. And when I got off the air, it was looking good, but it was not. The turkey wasn't cooked yet. I think the turkey is cooked, and I believe that we will see tonight the Philadelphia Phillies win this game. But Houston go on to win this series. And so I'll explain that in a little greater detail as we move along here. But the Astros, to me, are cleared for takeoff to win this series after winning last night. They had to get by last night. You couldn't fall in a 3-1 trap at Philly, facing a death game tonight in Philadelphia with the crowd like mobbing you. Now it's fine. It's 2-2, right? And with a combined no-hitter, taking us back to Don Larson and his perfect game in 1956. We've had 2 no-hitters in the World Series. We saw one last night, and you have to go back to 1956, well before I was born, in 1969, well before most of you were born, hanging out with your boy Camp tonight. Shout out to Christian Javier. And by the way, I don't think we've seen the last of him in this series. We have Anthony Rivera, and we have Bennett Carroll behind the glass. Guys, help me out here. Have you seen any reporting about Christian Javier maybe pitching in Game 7, just as a possibility, a speculative possibility? If you have, or anybody out there, click join the show and get on in here. Let me know, because I looked that up and I wasn't able to find anything on that. But he will be on 3 days rest Sunday, which would be Game 7. So hold that thought, okay? Javier last night, 6 innings, no hits, no runs, 2 walks, 9 Ks, 97 pitches. His career postseason ERA now is 2.20, and that's 32 2/3 innings. That's a big sample size of playoff basketball, 2.20 ERA. We right now should be talking about Christian Javier as one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, because he is. He's that good. He was lights out all season for Houston. He's been a really, a hot prospect for them who's had a lot of success with this team, and now he's popping on a monstrous stage with the biggest performance of his life last night and the most important pitched game in Astros history, with literally a title on the line last night. If Game 7 is played on Sunday, that will mean 3 days of rest, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for Christian Javier between last night, Wednesday, and, of course, Game 7, which could be on Sunday, all right? At that point, we just saw Lance McCullers give up 5 home runs, the most ever in a World Series game. Are you going to go back to him in a Game 7? Or are you going to go with Christian Javier on 3 days of rest? Dusty Baker is going to have to wrestle with this if this series goes all the way to 7. I'll let you know right now, I'm starting that game with Christian Javier, and I'm riding him as long as I can go. All right, the arm's getting tired a little bit. You're losing some velo. Let's go get you. Let's bring other dudes in. But this is the playoffs. You don't worry about who's starting and hurting feelings. You worry about winning the game, winning the series. So keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. Now, if Houston goes bang, bang, or Philly goes bang, bang, then that's all, empty talk. But if we go 7 here, and I think we're going 7 here, then we may be going back down Christian Javier Boulevard. So last night, Christian Javier coming in. We talked about all of the numbers in his favor. The start against New York when he was lights out. And think about this. He now has gone, he went 6 against Houston. He went 5 1/3 against the Yankees. He's given up 1 hit in 11 1/3 innings in starts in these playoffs. 1 hit in 11 1/3 innings. And obviously no earned runs. 1 hit. My God, are you serious? We talked about Aaronola going into last night, okay? The good, the bad, the ugly. Last 2 postseason starts, 9 earned runs over 9 innings heading into last night, okay? And last night he got not shredded, but he wasn't effective, okay? Sunday would be 3 days of rest for Aaronola, who obviously went last night. I have no confidence in him right now. I wonder if Rob Thompson still has confidence in him. He has proven to be very Verlander-ish in terms of the last 3 starts, the biggest stages of his pro career, and he has basically sucked and face planted. So keep that in mind as we move ahead here. I told you last night that I was not conflicted on Christian Javier. I was conflicted on Aaronola. And so that all played out. There were no red flags on the Javier side. There were red flags on the Aaronola side. That's why all of us that do this put in the research on it. For the first time in these playoffs, folks, the Phillies lost at home. They were 6-0, and they did not score. They came in averaging 7 runs per game at home. Javier was magical, and the bullpen obviously came in. Again, one of the reasons I picked the Astros to win it all, their bullpen is nasty and sick and deep and experienced, and it factor in the whole thing. So we went with Houston last night. We got it. Must-win game. We talked about championship DNA. We talked about, like, that was literally a must-win game. And we talked about that I picked the Astros to win the World Series for games like last night. Their starting pitching would be better than yours. And last night, that's how it looked. Now, we get to game 5, okay? I'll let you know right now I'm on Philadelphia tonight. I think Philadelphia wins this game. Wait, Cam, you're contradicting yourself. No, I'm not. 2 things can be true that are weird at the same time. I can go with Philadelphia tonight, and I can stick with Houston to win the series. I will make this explanation here as we move along. But dang it, I forgot to give you my props here for Golden State and Orlando. So let me do that here really, really quickly. I am, folks, because this game's about to tip off. I got confused. I'm over Steph Curry tonight at 27.5, about 2 minutes until tip off here. And there's 27.5. All right, minus 105 to the over. And there's more money coming in on the under for Steph Curry tonight. I don't understand. I'm over 27.5. I'm also, what other one did I have in here? I'm under Wendell Carter Jr. at 16.5. So I wanted to get these out here. I don't have any props to offer on the Denver and OKC game, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But in terms of Steph, think about this. Why is money coming in on the under on Steph? If the Dubs blow out the Magic, which I don't see happening, the Dubs are not in a good way right now, then Steph will probably have this number covered by the end of the 3rd quarter. Like, if they're up by 20 and it's that much of a rout, or 27 and it's that much of a rout, then Steph's going to have his numbers. Steph has been over this number, 27.5, in 6 of 8 games this year, 75% to the over on this number. He's been over 30 points per game in 6 of 8 games this year. We got to get to 27.5. The only games that Curry went under this year were 23 points at Miami against a great defense and 21 points at Phoenix in a blowout. All right. In one game against Orlando last year, he was at 31 points in one game. We're 27.5 is our number tonight. Steph and the Dubs will be locked in tonight. Trust me. They're 3-5 overall, 0-4 on the road, and they are going to be thirsty and hungry for victory tonight. And then Wendell Carter Jr. at 16.5. I'm going under this number. He's minus 110 to the under. He's gone over this number in 2 of 8 games this year. 2. That's it. Golden State has Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, James Wiseman, guys that will really defend him and make it a tough night for him. And Carter is coming off a 30-point game where he shot 10 of 19 from the field, okay? 10 of 15 from the field, rather. So that might have been his best game of the entire year. What I know is when you spike like that, and it was your night last night or the night before, you don't come back and do it again. I mean, he's not Kobe. He's not Jordan. He's not James Harden. He's Wendell Carter Jr. This is the come back to earth game. All kinds of circumstances lead to this as well. In 2 games against Golden State last year, he was right on this number at 16.5. And this year he's averaging 16.1. So we're looking for reasons to go over or under the average of these players, right? I'm giving you those reasons. He's going up against Golden State tonight, and he's coming off of a massive game for him. And I believe in the law of averages. What goes around comes around. And I believe that Wendell Carter Jr. will sink back into normal behavior here and go below 15.5 points per game. I do want to make a quick observation here, and it is noteworthy about the Golden State Warriors starting lineup tonight. Klay Thompson is in this lineup. And what that means is that he probably is not going to play tomorrow night for Golden State. And it's an interesting choice of when to deploy him. Tomorrow night, the Golden State Warriors are at New Orleans. New Orleans is a fantastic team, as most of us know. Zion, Ingram won't play, but they've got a very loaded roster. I believe they're going to be a playoff team this year. So you would think that you would want to save Klay Thompson for the New Orleans game and not burn him tonight at Orlando. Steve Kerr is electing to play him tonight. And again, like almost assuredly will not play him tomorrow. And so you'll be going up at New Orleans again without Klay Thompson. You'll have Poole, you'll have Wiggins. It's a very interesting decision. Do I agree with it? No, I do not. No, I do not. What I think it is once again, the wussification of America, the bubble wrapping of players, because what's the tougher task? What's the tougher team to play against? What's the tougher venue? It's at New Orleans. So, of course, let's give them the easy way out. Let's play them at Orlando tonight. Hello. At Orlando, like always a target. So I don't know. It's not a huge deal, but I don't like it. I would keep Klay for a bigger game, and I would basically have the rest of my team go here to Orlando and try to get this win. All right, so we're over Steph Curry at 27.5. We're under Wendell Carter Jr. at 16.5. And again, that's it. That's what I got. That's what I got. I looked through all the numbers. We got 2 games tonight. They're very, very lackluster games with Golden State here at Orlando. 8 o'clock tonight, it's Denver at OKC. I'm an NBA-aholic, so, I mean, I'm into it. But, like, who out there is excited about a Denver and Oklahoma City game? Who's excited about that? Right? Maybe Nikola Jokic's mom is excited about that. I'm not real excited about that game. Let me say hey to what up to everybody in here. And we'll get back to unpacking my prediction on Game 5 tonight. I've got Philadelphia. Let me say hello to all my peeps out here. Frankie Pugs in here. He goes, let's get that money. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Frankie Pugs. Dave Poland says, Anthony Davis's back still doesn't look right. I'm so happy for Matt Ryan of the Lakers. Matt Ryan of the Lakers was a DoorDash driver last year, and now he's splashing corner threes with LeBron and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, future Hall of Famers, tying games and helping the Lakers win games. It's an unbelievably amazing story. Anthony Rivera says here, let me see here, Dave Poland, I got Buffalo Wild Wings Thursday, BOGO boneless wings. Unfortunately, half mango habanero, and they're way too spicy. Bro, I mean, just go lemon pepper and medium buffalo. Like, just keep it like normal. Keep it mainstream. That's what I do. Anthony Rivera says, I'm more of a Wingstop type of guy. I love Wingstop. Lemon pepper and garlic parm. Can't get with you with the garlic parm there, Anthony. Can't. Lemon pepper all day. And I love the extra wet medium buffalo sauce. I do. So, let's hang out together. Let's have a really good time, man. So let's get back to work here on Game 5 of the World Series tonight. Brandon Cooks is out tonight. I'm just getting a notification on that. We'll get into that a little bit here as we move into some NFL prop bets here for Thursday Night Football. It's kind of a lame night of games, actually. I mean, it really is. Outside of the World Series, I mean, Philly and Houston, ooh, giddy up. Ooh, what a game on Thursday Night Football, right? It is what it is, man. So more here on Game 5 and more here on Justin Verlander, your boy. Justin Verlander. Let's take a broader look at this for a minute. Justin Verlander just had an epic season for the Houston Astros. American League Cy Young Award winner, he better be. Led Major League Baseball in wins with 18. Led Major League Baseball in ERA with 175. Led Major League Baseball in WHIP at 0.869. He's never been better in the regular season, and he's never been worse in the World Series. Verlander in the regular season tossed 5 no-hit innings against Philadelphia, 10 Ks in that game, okay? And that stat flew out the window in Game 1. Verlander's career postseason ERA coming into Game 1 was 3.55, and we know what happened in Game 1. Coming into Game 1, he had 4 World Series appearances, 7 starts, and a 5.66 ERA. With an 0-6 record, 5.66 ERA coming into the game, okay? And in Game 1, Verlander, as we remember, cruised through 3 innings, retired the first 10 batters he faced. Rhys Hoskins ended the perfect game with a single in the top of the 4th inning. And after Hoskins got on, the Phillies combined for 5 hits in the 4th and 5th innings. You had RBI doubles by Bohm and Real Muto that erased the 5-0 lead, made it 5-5. And then, you know, they pulled Verlander out of the game. That was the game where Luis Garcia gave up the 10th inning jack to JT Real Muto, and Philly wins the ball game. Justin Verlander is now at 6.07 with his ERA in the World Series. 6.07. It is the worst ever among starters with at least 30 innings pitched in the World Series. Said another way, Justin Verlander is the worst World Series starting pitcher in the history of baseball. And he did not get a decision in the last game. Game was tied at 5, went, to extra innings. And so Verlander is 0-6 over 8 World Series starts. The most career World Series starts without a win in baseball history. Think about this for a moment. Justin Verlander is one of the best pitchers of our lifetimes. Overall, he is also the worst World Series starting pitcher in the history of baseball, which goes back to 1876, 146 years ago. Guys, this is insanity. The stuff that I'm reading you right now, Justin Verlander, worst World Series starting pitcher in the history of baseball, 146 years of baseball. Wow, right? How am I able to say that? How am I able to shape my mouth and tongue to say those words to you? It does not compute. It's literally one of the greatest anomalies I've ever seen in sports. Justin Verlander's excellence and grace all the way up to basically the AL or NLDS, and then you get him, CS, and you get him in the World Series and he melts. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy that is Justin Verlander's history. But that is Justin Verlander's history. Now, let's get to Noah Syndergaard. These were my notes going into Game 3, which, of course, was rained out. Suarez got the start, got the win last night. Obviously, the Houston Astros tied it up. Now, we get the Syndergaard game a couple of days later. He has been solid in the postseason so far. 3 appearances. He's gone 5 1/3, 3 hits allowed, 1 run allowed, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. He's been good. He's given up 1 earned run in 5 1/3 innings. That's good. But he's only thrown 16 pitches, 35 pitches, and 17 pitches. His career postseason ERA is 2.30. Obviously, most with the Nets back in the day, but nevertheless, wow. His home road splits are looking good for this game. He is at 347 at home, 464 on the road. Much better at home than he is on the road, even though you think affiliate's a hitter-friendly park. He gets geeked up. He gets psyched about pitching there. And that does include games with the Angels before. Better at home than he is on the road. Noah Syndergaard was real solid against Houston this year. 2 starts against them, 1-0 record, 2.89 ERA. The question is, how long can Thor go? Can he go as long as Suarez did in Game 3? Remember, 5 strong innings, set him in a good direction. They end up pummeling Houston 7-0. 76 pitches for Suarez in that game. Does Thor have 76 pitches in him? I would bet against that. Thor feels opener-ish to me. he does. We'll see how the game plays out. If he's able to throw 50 pitches, 60 pitches, 70 pitches, good for him. I find that hard to believe with all the inactivity, and his postseason high right now for pitches is 35. So suddenly tonight he's going to throw 40 more pitches tonight than that. I don't know. Like, again, I don't see that happening. I don't. And he's capable of being good. I just don't know how long he will be out there. But who has the advantage in terms of pitching? We always start there. Always. As we rock and roll here with our money line picks, regular season, going back to the regular season and postseason. Kicking ass, yo. Kicking ass and taking names. Very gaudy percentage. I won't bore you with it right now. But the pitching advantage goes to Philadelphia. There are a lot of positive indicators with Thor, people, and a mountain of evidence against Justin Verlander. 146 years of evidence against Justin Verlander. If you trust Verlander going into this game tonight, then you are absolutely crazy. You may be saying, well, do you think Dusty Baker is crazy then? No, I don't. Here's why. Dusty Baker doesn't have a choice. He can't not pitch Justin Verlander. If he made that decision, you got the headline. Dusty Baker is pulling Justin Verlander out of the Astros playoff rotation, World Series rotation. It'd be a freak show. You can't do it. And you're saying, well, you're going to go down with the ship. You're going to lose the series because of that. Dusty knows. I knew Justin Verlander was going to suck in 2 starts in this series, yet I still picked the Astros to win this World Series. I baked that into my prediction. Dusty Baker is pitching Justin Verlander tonight because he knows he's going to get shredded. So why not throw him to the shredder at Philly? And where their bats are amazing, their home field advantage is amazing. He's not forfeiting a game. Okay, but let's just throw Verlander out there rather than save him for a home game where he's going to be giving up 3, 4, 5 earned runs in the first 3, 4, 5 innings at home. I don't want that. At home, I want to get off to a good start. I want to get the lead. I want to play from in front. I want my crowd to be psyched and making all kinds of noise, all of that good stuff. That's why you start Verlander tonight. And he has to start Verlander. You can't pull this guy out. You just can't. You just can't. Will Verlander pull out of it? There is a chance, I guess, that Justin Verlander actually pitches well tonight. I guess there's a chance that happens. Am I betting on it? No. Have stranger things happened? I actually don't know if stranger things have happened than seeing Justin Verlander have a marvelous start in a World Series game tonight. I actually think this might be the strangest thing ever to happen if that's the way this goes down. He's the worst World Series pitcher in the history of baseball. Why would I think tonight is going to be different? I don't think tonight's going to be different. I think he's going to get taken to the shredder, Fargo style. Splibbity splat all over the snow. No, he's not going to pull out of it tonight. Why, Cam? Because number one, it's the World Series, and those stats don't lie. Number two, the Phillies lineup will be unleashed tonight. The horror. It's going to be like American Werewolf in London. Normal man, nighttime turns into an absolute murdering predator. That's what's going to happen tonight. Thankfully, I'm only euphemistically talking about it that way. The Phillies just ripped 2 nights ago Lance McCullers a new one. 5 home runs, the most ever a starting pitcher's given up in the World Series, ever in 146 years of baseball. 2 nights ago, the Phillies offense did that. No, Justin Verlander's not pulling out of it tonight. Philly didn't stop being a dominant home team just because they lost 1 game to 1 pitcher at his absolute apex and finest hour on planet Earth with a no-hitter in an act of God, and give me a break. Is that replicable? No. It took 56, well, I don't know how long. You got to go back to 1956, the last time we had a no-hitter in the World Series. And there's only been 2 no-hitters in the World Series all time. Tonight's game's going to be a little bit different, don't you think? And JB obviously is a big-time choke artist. He's got the Romo gene. If you're a baseball fan and you say Romo gene and your baseball friends aren't going to understand what you're saying, they just call it the JV gene. It's the JV gene. You can go, you're right with that, the Verlander gene. and copyright your boy Cam and tell him where we sent you. Game 5 prediction. Philadelphia, and we like the juice. Philly is a plus 135 on the money line. Yes, sir. Giddy up. Let's go. Plus 135 on the money line. Houston is a minus 155 on the money line. Nope. To me, that's way too rich. Like, people actually have faith and trust in Justin Verlander? Wow. When I saw that line, I was like, really? That many people are betting on Houston tonight. Okay, I'm going the other way. I'll take Philly plus 135. Hop on board, folks. One last party in downtown Philadelphia. It's going to be a love fest tonight at the Link. A love fest. The Phillies will be hitting home runs tonight. I have proof. And I have a betting scenario for you here. It's Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live on Bettor Sports Network. GSW and Orlando 18-9, Golden State early. We are about a half hour, 45 minutes from Thursday Night Football. We're about a half hour, a little bit over from Game 5 of the World Series. You're in a good spot with your boy Cam on Bettor Sports Network. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, I believe, are going yard tonight. Harper is plus 390 to hit a home run tonight. Schwarber is plus 310 to hit a home run tonight. Harper plus 390, Schwarber plus 310. Do you think one of these guys are hitting a home run tonight like I do? I actually think both of them will. This would be a parlay that I would play if I weren't in backwards ass Florida. I would be playing this parlay tonight. And I'd probably be playing it individually as well to try to win either way. But I really, really like Harper and Schwarber to hit home run tonight at plus 390 and plus 310, respectively. I have more exotics for you. But first, I guess a World Series prediction here. And it's quick. So like I mentioned, I've got the Phillies tonight. Wow, Cam, you're pivoting. You're a hypocrite. You're going back on your word. What about Houston? Again, none of that is true. I'm taking Philadelphia tonight, and I believe in my baseball heart that Houston is winning Game 6 and Game 7 because they have better pitching than Philadelphia. I'm going to keep saying that until either they win and prove me right or it blows up and they prove me wrong. Houston to win the series is a minus 190. Philadelphia to win the series is a plus 160. Obviously, as we cat mouse through this series, these lines are greatly adjusting to Philadelphia. Here we go. They're going to win it too. Okay, now Houston's going to win it. All that. Here's what you do, though. Here's my advice, and here's what I would be doing if I could play my money on this. Wait for the Phillies to win tonight. And the optics of it, the love fest of it. The whole world is going to think Philadelphia is winning the World Series after tonight. They will. They're all going to be thinking it. Oh, my God, Philly's got it. It's over. It's a wrap. Houston's got to win 2 against this team. That'll never happen. Yeah, it will. So what it's going to do is drive the odds way down for Houston. We're at a minus 190 right now. I don't really like that. I mean, I do. Like, I think Houston's going to win, but like minus 190, that kind of sucks. I got to go 2 for 1 here. Okay, wait for Philadelphia to win tonight and then bet Houston at like a plus 120 or a plus 110 or whatever it's going to be. But it's going to be like the odds are going to completely flip, especially when it would be 3-2 and Philly would be 1 win away from winning the World Series. Trust me. So wait for Philly to win tonight, then get in as we flip the odds, then play Houston, and then watch and enjoy as they win games 6 and 7 on Saturday and Sunday. Let's talk World Series MVP here, folks. World Series MVP. My choice right now, my bet right now would be Christian Javier. He's at a plus 1,200. You got to love that. $100 wins you 1,200. There's not a definitive MVP pick from the Phillies. For the whole playoffs there is. His name is Bryce Harper. For the World Series, that is not the case. Harper, Schwarber, Bohm, and Marsh are all neck and neck in terms of stats. They all have a home run with 2 or 3 RBIs and 3 hits. And they all have a low batting average, except for Brandon Marsh, who's hitting, I believe, 300 in the World Series. I am fading Harper because I don't think his side is going to win, and he's hitting 214 in the World Series so far. So he's been bombing and doing and shredding and throughout the playoffs, but so far he's got 1 big blast, and it was a very big blast against McCullers in Game 3. So Harper at a plus 390 right now to win World Series MVP. I'm not with it. I'm fading it. Schwarber, I am not fading because Schwarber and Bohm and Harper and the other guy whose name's escaping me are all like neck and neck right now. Schwarber is the play at a plus 1,700. Harper has not separated from Schwarber in terms of Philly winning World Series MVP if Philly wins this World Series. There's no separation there. Vegas is telling us there's a huge separation there. Plus 390 for Harper, plus 1,700 for Schwarber. No way. No way. It's a coin flip between those guys right now, who has like done better in the World Series and put better numbers up in the World Series. So I would actually put some money as a little hedge on all my Houston opinions on Schwarber to win. And I think Schwarber's going yard tonight, folks. I do. So plus 1,700 on Schwarber for World Series MVP. Yes, all day. I wouldn't step out on it. I wouldn't put a unit on it, but I'd put something on it. $20, something like that. A little something. Let's look at the Houston side. Kyle Tucker would be the clear choice right now among the Astros hitters for World Series MVP. He's at 286 with the batting average, 2 home runs, and 5 RBI. Alex Bregman is at 188 with 1 home run and 4 RBI. There's no comparison there, but their numbers are the exact same. Tucker is a plus 450. Bregman is a plus 450. No. Tucker's got a leg up on him. These odds should not be similar like that. It speaks to a reputation thing with Bregman, but Tucker's been the better player. So I would think about playing $20 on Kyle Tucker at a plus 450. I would not play that on Bregman because I got a leg up with Tucker. Now, I do have a dark horse for you. Real deep sleeper pick for you to win World Series MVP. And again, I'd put a little money on this. Now, little. Try to like go from $20 to, I don't even know what it would be. You guys tell me. $20 bet at a plus 2,500. You guys tell me. I don't know how to do that math. Plus 2,500. So 100 would turn into 2,500. Like, it's just too much math. I don't know. What I know is I like the odds on this a lot. And let me explain. Yuli Gurriel right now is hitting .313 in the World Series. He's 5 out of 16. He only has 1 RBI, though, and he has no home runs. So he's obviously got to giddy up and go in those categories and keep the BA really high and all that kind of stuff. Here's the thing, though. What do we know about Yuli Gurriel? He's a streaky hitter. And when he gets on a tear, he cannot be stopped, and he is Godzilla. We know this about Yuli Gurriel. And I'm kind of sort of feeling that vibe with Yuli Gurriel right now. And what if we get 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI tonight in a loss? And then we go back to Houston, and now he starts shredding, right? He could win World Series MVP. Yuli Gurriel actually right now is alive to win World Series MVP, in my opinion. And he's at a plus 2,500. Again, is he going to win it? Probably not. But it's a plus 2,500. And if he gets on one of the patented Yuli Gurriel tears, then you're going to be like, thank goodness we got on this when we did. Because if Yuli Gurriel goes out tonight and hits a bomb and has 3 hits, these odds are going to just vanish from plus 2,500. They're going to vanish. I do have a cross-sport special for you. We have the Eagles playing tonight. We have the Phillies playing tonight. We also have the Astros playing tonight and the Texans playing tonight. I want to focus on the Phillies side of this because I do believe it's going to be a Philadelphia party tonight at the Link. And this game, of course, in football is being played in Houston. And I've got Phillies total home runs and Phillies total home runs and Eagles total touchdowns. The number is 4.5, and it's minus 125 to the over. So action coming in on that side. Let's hit that. The Eagles might cover this by themselves. I have the Eagles scoring 30 points tonight. They are going to move the ball, put the ball in the end zone, kick field goals, whatever they want to do. This is Houston we're talking about. By the way, I like the Eagles to cover the spread tonight. It's 14. I still like it. Philly is scoring 3 touchdowns tonight, at least. I have them scoring 4. I have Philadelphia, the Eagles, scoring 4 touchdowns tonight. We're right at the number. We need 1 bomb from the Phillies tonight against Verlander to hit on this. I like it. I do. You need 2 bets to hit to win 1, but I think this one is likely. It's a bet against Justin Verlander, the worst starting pitcher in the history of the World Series. And it's a bet against the worst team in the AFC at 1-5-1. Only Detroit is lower at 1-6. So that's the way I'm going tonight. We're over on Steph Curry at 27.5, and we're under on Wendell Carter Jr. at 16.5 in the NBA. We're off of OKC and Denver tonight. I can't get with it, man. I can't get with it. I looked into Jokic. I looked into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I didn't see indicators that took me over, so we're not doing it. So let's get into I tell you what. Let's take a quick break right here. Right around the corner, we're going to bring on Matt Donnelly of Fantasy Vipers and Dynasty Vipers. I'll get that right when we get him on. But Matt Donnelly, tremendous guest. We have him on Thursdays. We talk Thursday Night Football. We complain about the quality of the game, and we have a blast. And he always brings phenomenal intel. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, right around the corner. We've got Johnny VTV joining us from NBC Sports Bet, and we do have a giveaway tonight, folks. We're giving away at 9 o'clock Eastern Time a Jalen Hurts autographed full-size helmet that you can win. And what you have to do to win, folks, it's a 3-step process. It's very, very easy. Number one, you have to follow at Bettor Network, and that's with an O, Bettor Network. You got to retweet the post with the Jalen Hurts helmet. It's the green helmet with a white signature on it. It's really, really cool. You got to retweet this post, and you got to listen to Bettor Sports Live because you, of course, have downloaded the app. That's all you have to do. 9 o'clock tonight, Eastern Time, to win the Jalen Hurts signed full-size helmet. You got to be a little lucky too, but it's not much to get your hat in the ring and maybe win this awesome piece of memorabilia. We are here at Bettor Sports Network, fantasy, gaming, and we, of course, are collectibles as well. So when we come back, we will have Matt Donnelly talking about Thursday Night Football, fantasy football in general, and having a good time with your boy Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live.
Bettor Sports Live with Rick Kamla.
That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Bettor Sports Network.
Andy Reid is the best current coach in the NFL. He's better than Belichick. Belichick has lost his way. He's better than Tomlin. He's better than Harbaugh. He's better than Shanahan. He's better than McCarthy down in Dallas. He's better than all of the gangster NFL coaches right now. Sean McDermott up in Buffalo. He's better than all these guys. Andy Reid is the greatest gangster that we have at head coach in the NFL right now. And I understand that you're saying, well, Belichick is the GOAT, Cam. How can that be true? Now you're bringing up old stuff. Bill Belichick can't draft anymore, okay? Talk to me. Nick Chubb, Sony Michel. Talk to me. DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel versus N'Keal Harry, okay? Talk to me. This dude has lost his way. Remember the year when he should have bottomed out and just tanked, but he couldn't, and he went and got Cam Newton, and they were a mediocre team, right? He's lost his way. And not that he can't coach up a good defense and that kind of thing, but overall, he's lost his way. Andy Reid's an absolute badass. They draft great. He's a great coach, makes the right decisions, when to go for it, when to kick, when to punt. The guy's the man.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com.
I hate the stupid unsportsmanlike conduct. As long as you're not disrespectful to the opponent, you should be allowed to celebrate.
How I used to say it, and to bring up, because now basketball's starting to bring up personal.
Oh, dude, it's even worse than basketball, isn't it?
So Dikembe Mutombo, who used to get teed up in the 2000s, the 90s, they didn't give a crap. 2000s, though, when they tightened up the rules, they used to tee him up more when he did the Dikembe finger wag. But they wouldn't tee him up if he did it to the crowd instead of looking at, like, Eton Thomas, like one time I remember, and doing it right to him, or when his back was turned, doing it right to him. If he did it to the crowd, they would never call it. And so that makes me wonder if these players, while, yeah, they want to talk a little smack, maybe they should flex towards the crowd than at the player who they're standing over.
I guess.
I know it's soft, man.
It is soft.
Because you know what?
Like we're gonna give 15 yards for that,
bro. They think that, you know, want to know why they're paranoid? They think that's gonna turn into a fight.
See, I disagree with that. That's not going to start a fight.
I agree with you. They don't agree with us.
It's one thing, okay, if you spit in someone's face or say something derogatory, like about their family or something,
right,
yeah, that can incite it. But if you're just like, yeah, I made that play, what? You know what I mean? Like, again, they know the rules. You got to know you're going to get flagged. You have to have discipline. But, like, I don't know. I have no problem with celebration as long as it's not disrespectful.
What's disrespectful? You know,
it's interpretation, and that's my problem. watch, it's going to cost someone in a big playoff game, and that's when people are going to go crazy. There'll be a third down play, someone makes a pass breakup, and they're in someone's face. They're going to throw a flag. It'll extend the drive. That team scores, wins the playoff game because of it. You need something drastic for it to really leave an imprint, and I hope that doesn't happen to mine.
Better Sports Network is betting, fantasy, collectibles. It's sports talk done better.
All right, we're back on Better Sports Live on the Better Sports Network. We have Matt Donnelly right now, one of my faves. He's with FSWA, member of Fantasy Points Live, Bet Spurts. He's with the Vipers Network, and he's my boy, man. And we love having you on Thursday nights, Matt. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing decent, I guess. I mean, up here in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, we got a little bit of snow here, so prior to the show, I thought about doing a little bit of a quiet quitting type episode here, but I figured that Brandon Cooks is doing enough quiet quitting for the rest of us out here. So I thought, let's give her a go and see where we go. I'm a team player, unlike some guys out there.
I think it's a huge amount of bull crap that he's now playing in this game, Matt. I think it's weak ass sauce from Brandon Cooks. Cool, you want to be traded? We'll try to trade you. It's called being professional. Sorry, we tried to trade you. We couldn't trade you. Nobody wanted to give us what we wanted for you. Okay. Now we would like you to play football for us the rest of the year and make the money that it's not that much to ask, man. This is a BS move by him.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I don't think it was the asking price. I think they were asking for a second. I can see some teams pointing up the second. It was eating that cap. And if I'm Houston, why would I eat a bunch of money that I'm already paying you not to be here, not to play for us? I mean, it always baffles my mind in that whole aspect there because he's under contract. He signed that deal. He knew what was going on there in Houston prior to. Now, we aren't privileged to all the ins and outs of the locker room and that other stuff. So I don't want to get on him too much in that regard because we don't know what his actual situation may or may not be inside that locker room. But you sit there and like, if I'm a team, I'm not going to pay you not to be here. I mean, I gave you a lot of money. We committed a lot of money to you. The fan base is interested into you, invested into you. And you want us to, I think that's what a lot of these teams wanted to do. The teams, Dallas Cowboys, they couldn't take on Brandon Cook's entire salary, so they wanted Houston to eat a good portion of that. And if I'm Houston, I don't blame them because I wouldn't want to eat that portion either.
I mean, look, if Houston had a second round valuation on Brandon Cooks, they're crazy. I understand a third round valuation on him. I do. I can get with that. I mean, he's been with like a good quarterback recently, 1,000-yard guy, right? 80,000 yards, 5 to 8 touchdowns. We know who Brandon Cooks is. But second round pick, you got to be kidding me. So maybe he's salty at them about like overvaluing him and making it such that nobody could come and get him. Any old way, I do want to circle back to Cooks and the ramifications of that, Matt, on this game tonight. But I got to circle back to something that you said. Once upon a time, Matt, I lived in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in a gorgeous little piece of heaven called Evergreen, Colorado. It's right up the road from Red Rocks, which was my backyard venue when I lived in Evergreen, Colorado. It was I used to like just drive down the road and go to Red Rocks and park in a parking lot where people are like driving all over the United States like I used to go to Red Rocks. It was freaking amazing, Matt. It was absolutely paradise. So let's go up the chain here a little bit. You said you're in the Canadian Rockies. So where the hell are you? And like when you go outside, are you like looking at mountains?
No, I'm a little ways off of that still. Basically, like you said, I'm in the foothills of the Rockies. I'm about 2.5 hours away from actually hitting Rockies as far as that's concerned there. We are in the southern portion of the province. So we get a little bit of everything up here. So I mean, we hit 40 below, we hit 40 above, or 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, 40 below is 40 below, no matter how you want to slice that. But I mean, we have quite the drastic difference in weather temperature from year in and year out. So right now, we're about to hit our cold spell, as you can imagine here, and just about every stereotype of a Canadian that you could think of there. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on right now.
So you said, hold on a second. You said the province. So where are you? Are you in Edmonton, Vancouver? Like where are you on the west side of Canada?
Yeah, I'm just in southern Alberta there. So I'm about, I want to say about 5.5 hours south of Edmonton there, probably about 2.5 south of Calgary. Kind of in between Calgary and Great Falls, Montana, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you say that, I think Edmonton, Calgary, hockey rivalry, like all that kind of stuff. It takes me right there. Do you give a damn about that rivalry? Do you plug into that, or are you a hockey guy?
So, funny story is, I've always had oppositional defiance disorder. I mean, I'm pretty sure I had this at like 6 months of age. So, I'm not an Oilers fan and I'm not a Flames fan. My old man, he grew up a Leafs fan. So, I naturally automatically gravitated towards the Montreal Canadiens. That's been my team my entire life. So, I mean, I was well invested in those Montreal Toronto rivalries. And hey, probably the greatest rivalry of all time in the NHL, the Quebec Nordiques and the Montreal Canadiens. There in the late 80s, I mean, there was some good old-fashioned brawls that took place in those contests. So, yeah, I am actually a Montreal Canadiens fan located out west.
I love it, man. The Quebec Nordiques. I haven't heard just those two words put together in a long, long time. That's really cool. You don't play fantasy hockey, do you?
I dabbled in it there a little bit, probably 3-4 years ago. And then, you know what it's like? You get invested into one aspect of the industry. Those who can do everything, I applaud them all together. It's hard enough to specialize in fantasy football or fantasy baseball or fantasy hockey. It's really hard to specialize in anything. Those who can do a little bit of everything, you know what? These are people, I don't think they get enough credit for what they're able to do. I got invested into the NFL and fantasy football, and I started to forget about hockey. I really did. So I recently, even coaching hockey and playing hockey and all this other stuff, I just don't have time to sit back and watch hockey as much as I'm putting that effort into fantasy football, my rankings, and all this. So I have kind of lost touch a little bit on the fantasy aspect of the NHL. I still know all the big names. I still know all my Montreal Canadiens players year in, year out. So I'm still in it, but I wouldn't be able to give you any decent fantasy hockey advice.
I understand. I'm in 5 or 6 fantasy hockey leagues. I'm a big Nick Suzuki guy. I always go for him. He always drifts in drafts. He's a real good source of points. He'll give me some hits here and there, and he's a shot on goal guy. So I do like Nick Suzuki. He's never like a top pick. I mean, he's not even like a middle pick. I always get him like whenever I want. I can just go get Nick Suzuki. It's kind of crazy. Frankie Pug's out here saying, I love fantasy hockey. I don't know if I love fantasy hockey. I F with fantasy hockey. That's how I would describe it, Matt. I literally F with fantasy hockey. That's all I do. I F with it. The other ones, I make love to the other ones. But fantasy hockey, I just screw around with fantasy hockey. But back to Brandon Cooks here, Matt Donnelly. I was thinking, I looked at it earlier in the week, and I was kind of like, I'm thinking about taking the points with Houston here tonight. They've only been blown out in one game. Virtually every one of their games has been a one possession game, right? And I understand the dominance of Philly and all that, but now that Nico Collins is out and Brandon Cooks is playing the pout card, like how are the Houston Texans going to scrap together the points to get inside and live inside the number of 14? So talk to me about that.
I mean, I find it, I've struggled with this one because when you look at 14 points, I think 13 and a half. I mean, if you got 13 and a half, you're feeling good. That 14, that's a tough one for you trying to bet on because that's a 2-touchdown game, right? That kind of changes the whole dynamic. If the Eagles win by 2 touchdowns, you lose. I mean, or you get pushed or however you want to look at it. So you look at this closely. How do the Houston Texans keep this within a 2-score game? Well, it comes down to running the ball and controlling the clock and not turning over the ball. They're going to have to try and force the Eagles into some turnovers there, which is something they haven't necessarily done. Now, the one strength that the Texans have is a man named Dameon Pierce, who has been fantastic in his own right. He's a tackle-breaking machine, gets that second level. Now, the one knock on the Eagles has been their ability to tackle so far this season. They're giving about 2.58 yards after contact this season. So if Houston, and this is all a hypothetical thing in a perfect type world, if Houston can find a way to have some success running the ball, maybe sprinkle a pass here and there, I mean, I don't see any way that Davis Mills throws more than 20 passes this contest. And they keep the clock kind of in their court there. The Eagles, they've been blowing teams out in the first half, not so much in the second half. They get their lead, and then they coast in the second half. That's kind of been their MO most of the season. So if Houston can kind of get themselves into a position where they can still run the ball heading into the second half, I think they can chip away at that lead. Now, maybe not get it within a score, but I think they can definitely get themselves back within 2 scores in this contest. I don't see how the Texans can win this. But then again, we didn't think anything about last season, we didn't think the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to knock off the Indianapolis Colts right before the playoffs. So, I mean, the NFL is a funny game. It's a funny business, and anything can really happen on any given week. I just don't see how the Eagles lose this game. And if I'm looking at the point spread here, this is one of those ones I'm kind of trying to avoid because 14 points, it seems like a lot, but we're talking about the Eagles here. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders. Houston cannot stop the run worth a lick. They've given up over 1,000 yards rushing this season, 252 yards to running backs out of the backfield in the passing game. So you're looking at nearly 1,300 yards to running backs in just 7 games and 11 touchdowns. So if Philadelphia wants to grind it, and which you think would benefit Houston, I don't think Houston can even stop that from happening, and that could actually be more beneficial to the Eagles.
I see the Eagles running the ball a lot tonight and very, very effectively tonight as well. Matt Donnelly hanging out with Rick Hamley here on Bettor Sports Network. Our show is Bettor Sports Live. At Matt Donnelly FF is how you follow him. That's ONNELLY. Give him a follow. He's with the Vipers Network. He's with Fantasy Points Live. He's with Bet Spurts. Cool name, by the way, with Bet Spurts. Let me ask you a question here, Matt. Do you have some props that you want to tell me about, or do you want me to bounce some props off of you? How would you like to go with that?
I mean, I'd like to hear some of the props you got going on there, but anything involving Dameon Pierce, I'm probably considering that from the Houston Texans standpoint. Anything else, I'm probably avoiding. I've seen the Philip Dorsett one out there. I've seen the Chris Moore one out there. I'm avoiding Davis Mills. I'm probably taking the under on just about any of those as far as that's concerned. Now, if we're talking about pass catches and receiving yards for Dameon Pierce, I'm probably looking at the over as far as that's concerned. Anything else, I'm probably trying to avoid like the plague when it comes to Houston Texans.
All right, so let me bounce these off you, the specific numbers here, and so we can help the people. Matt, when we let you go, I will dive deeper into my personal analysis on these. So I'll just ask you, Davis Mills passing yard prop is 212.5, 212.5. You going over or under that number?
I'm taking the under. I can't get behind that. I can't get behind this. You talk about Darius Slay. You talk about James Bradbury. You're talking about 2 of the best cover corners in the National Football League right now. The only path to success this Houston Texans passing game has is working out of the slot, maybe a little bit of tight ends. Maybe we get a little Chris Moore, gets a few extra yards there playing out of the slot there. Or maybe Brevin Jordan steps up this week, but I can't see him getting more than 43 yards receiving.
It's all math, right, Matt? That I don't see the math of how they get to 212.5. Again, I'll go more into depth with that in just a moment, but I'll let you know, spoiler alert, I'm with Matt. I'm going under on Davis Mills at 212.5. How about Dameon Pierce here? Let's talk about him, Matt. He's at 66.5 rushing yards, minus 125 to the over, 66.5. Over or under on D. Pierce tonight?
You know what? I would probably take the over on Dameon Pierce. Yeah, this is the one thing I feel comfortable about in this Texans offense, just because I look at what Philadelphia has done this season. They have allowed 23.25 fantasy points per game this year. They've allowed 826 total yards on the ground, and they've given up 36 receptions. So Dameon Pierce is going to have an opportunity not only to catch the ball, but he's going to be able to run the ball on his Eagles. I kind of mentioned some of these other things there about the Eagles. Kazir White there, TJ Edwards. They've got 68 and 48 tackles, respectively, which means teams are getting to that level in the run game if Edwards and Kazir White are getting those tackles. Jordan Davis, that big old rookie out of Georgia there, he is now out, right? I think he went on the IR here today. So that's one less piece of that Eagles front. I mean, they still got 7 fantastic pieces there. Basically 2 strings that would be the top defensive line on any team right now. But, I mean, Dameon Pierce, he's just built different, man. He's like a little ball of hate when he runs the ball. He's slow, he's compact, and he wants to hurt you every time he runs. It's like someone stole something. He wants to make you pay for it every time that ball is in his hands.
A little ball of hate. I like it. I've never heard that before. What was that old John Cusack movie where the kid followed him in the bike and said, "I want my $2. My $2." Do you remember that movie? Old 80s movie? Anybody? Bueller? How old are you, Matt? Did I just show my age right there? How old are you?
No, I remember Ferris Bueller and stuff like that. I'm just at 40. We'll call it 40-ish. We'll stick with that for now. I'm not quite where some people are, but yeah, it's. I love my 80s
What is that
movies. I love my
supposed to
70s.
mean?
I'm an old soul, man. I am an old soul. I still listen to 70s music, 80s music. I
Me
can't
too.
get into the stuff that the kids are listening to these days. I mean, kids will
Oh
start
my
listening to music
God.
like, I know that song. And then they'll play like, this isn't the song I grew up with. Every song's been like redone from when we listened to back in the 70s, 80s, 60s. I mean, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I love my old music. That's everything to me. And you can't replace the 80s action movies. I mean, it's funny how much you think you remember about those 80s movies until you put them on. You're like, oh, I don't remember that being happening and going on like that. But
some of the stuff that they said back in the day, I mean, you want to talk about getting canceled. You want to talk about, the PC police and all that. My God, some of the like really bad stuff. Like, wow, they just said that, and Hollywood was cool with that. 30 years ago, yeah, Hollywood was cool with that 30 years ago.
Come a long way. Social norms have come a long way in the last 30 years.
They have far less offensive than they were back in the day, to be perfectly honest with you. All right, Miles Sanders. We just talked about, look, the Houston Texans have the worst run defense in the National Football League by 30 rushing yards per game over the next worst team, which is the Chicago Bears. So, but for some reason, Matt, I'm not going to be giving the people here in a moment Miles Sanders. I'm not. It's 77.5. And it's just too rich for my blood. If it was 69, I'd be playing it. If it was 71, I may be playing it. It's 77.5. I can't get with it. So are you over or under that number?
I'm going to jump on the over, and here's why. Sanders is averaging 4.9 yards per carry. He was able to turn basically 9 carries last week into 87 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which basically was like 8.7 yards per carry. Don't do the math. I'm just going to make that number up anyway. So I don't think Sanders needs a lot of volume to be effective in this matchup. And you know what? Quite frankly, I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to factor into this equation because the Eagles are going to be running the ball. It's going to be basically that 3-4 prong attack that the Eagles like to do, mixing a little bit of Jalen Hurts there in the running game. But when you look at how efficient Sanders has been, I think that is the way he gets to that over in this contest.
Interesting. Matt, one more for you here. Jalen Hurts at 42.5 rushing yards. Where are you going there? You going over or under 42.5 for Jalen Hurts?
You know what? I'm probably taking the under on Jalen Hurts because I don't think he has to run. I mean, typically when we see a mobile quarterback picking up large chunks of yards with their legs, it's because they're feeling a little bit of pressure. You've got old man there. He's an oldie and a goodie there in Jerry Hughes, leading the way with like 5 sacks for the Texans. And then it's like Rasheem Green there with 3. And then there's nobody else to get after the quarterback. So Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to be able to sit back there, take his time, do what he wants. And I don't think he's going to have to run. We see guys like Lamar Jackson have to run because the pressure's getting to him. We see Justin Fields here. Yes, they mixed in some design runs there, but he was taken off because pressure's coming because that Bears line hasn't been very good. This is an advantage for the Eagles there. Their offensive line versus the Houston Texans defensive line. And I don't think the pressure is going to get there. If Jalen Hurts wants to run, then yeah, he's going to hit the over easy because I don't think there's any way of stopping him. But I don't think that they're going to count on him to run. I don't think they're going to ask him to run in this week.
Interesting, Matt. And I will tell the people in a moment where I'm at with that. I'm on the other side of that Jalen Hurts prop, but you make great points. We'll see how it goes. So Matt, before we let you go here, tell people how to listen to you, how to watch you, how to read you.
Yeah, you can catch me just about everywhere and anywhere here recently. Over on the DynastyVipers.com, you can catch my weekly rankings there each and every week. They get dropped down there. And then I do drop a Friday night hype show there with FantasyPoints.com. That's on the Fantasy Points YouTube channel there. I preview about 4 games, break down some of the news and notes from around the league. And you know what? I just kind of bring the passion each and every week when it comes to that. And then Thursday Night Football. I just dropped a video there on, I believe it was Tuesday. And on the website, if you can't stand looking at my face or listen to my voice, you can read my words as well because, hey, I like to give people options. I'm a man of the people, and I understand this isn't for everybody. I get it. I really do. So if you just want to look at my mustache, you put my video on mute and you read my written word. But I'm going to tell you right now, the way I speak is the way I write, so it's going to probably throw you off there as well. You can catch that basically before every Thursday Night Football game. I drop a primetime preview, so you can catch all my inner thoughts there on this Eagles and the Texans contest, broken down by position, by player. And hey, you know what? If you see some good information, there's lots of tidbits there that are very helpful for you making those DFS lineup decisions.
Matt, you the man. I look forward to this every week. Really appreciate you having you on, man. Stay warm in the Canadian Rockies. Look, I was born and raised in Minnesota, Matt. I know all about cold weather and 40 below and all that kind of stuff. So, get your Sorel boots on, get that big old parka on, and stay warm, man. And we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it like I do every week. And now I'm going to head off to the hockey rink to coach a little hockey here. So we'll see you guys.
Oh, nice. You're going to DVR the game or record the game and come back and watch it? Or is it just such a stinkhole that you're not going to watch it?
Well, thankfully, I think this is going to be a blowout. So I cannot DVR a game. I can't. I don't have the patience to record a game and then come back and sit down and watch it. I mean, we are in an information right now world. And I just can't be, you know what, don't tell me the score, because someone's going to tell you the score. Someone's going to tell you what happens. You're going to get alerts. I mean, I think I got a Sleeper alerting me more often than my family does. I get more text messages and notifications from Sleeper than I do from my own family here. So it's it's almost impossible not to know what's going on this day and age. So I'll probably be doing a couple of sneak peeks between the drills here and try to catch as much of the game as possible.
I love it, man. I love it. Be well. Have fun with the fam. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, take care.
Matt Donnelly right there, folks. He the man. I'm Rick Hamlin. We are Bettor Sports Live. A reminder, 1 hour from now, 9 o'clock Eastern time, we are giving away a Jalen Hurts autographed full-size Eagles helmet, okay? He's going to be balling here in just a couple of minutes. And what you got to do is follow at Bettor Network. You've got to retweet the post with the Jalen Hurts helmet in it so everybody knows about it. And you got to download the app and listen to the show. And you got to be lucky. And if you check all of those boxes, including lucky, you will win the Jalen Hurts signed full-size Eagles helmet, which is really, really cool. All right, let's take a break right here. I want to come back, and we've got Johnny V TV right around the corner. I will let you know the prop bets that I'm going with tonight. I don't have very many. It's a tough slate tonight, but we will tell you Ricky Props outlook here on Thursday Night Football. Then we'll have Johnny V TV on here. We'll do it next on Bettor Sports Live.
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
Moose and Keith with you. Let's welcome aboard right now, Iron Eagle. One of the great stories that I have from doing notes on a plane, and you always get people looking over. They see color-coded uniform numbers, names, height, weight, age, background, hometown. And I had a woman sitting next to me on a flight, and I'm doing my notes, and she's kind of giving the look, then looking, and I can tell she's looking. And then finally, she'll say, so what is it that you do? Well, what do you think I do? She said, are you a wedding planner? I said, yes. I said, I have to put Rob Gronkowski at Tom Brady's table. I said, you know what? You're not correct, but it's the best answer I've ever heard. That's great.
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
False Fantasy Life Fantasy Executive. It's going to be a football life. The fantasy executive is probably going to be the best football life ever.
Who will be the guest? Everyone who was on yesterday, basically.
Yeah, everybody that's on yesterday will be the guest. Scott Engel, you know what I'm saying? Adam Ronis. Yeah, everybody knows people. Because what Nando, obviously you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to the GST and shoot some scenes. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be nice.
We'll shoot some scenes in Midtown Manhattan. Antonio Brown can be on my football life,
That'd
right?
be nice.
Because that's a big part of my come up as a fantasy analyst. Everybody, the football life, the fantasy executive is going to be for the people. When they do the football life on the fantasy executive, I'm going to be hands on.
Good. Yeah. You talking to you.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Cheetos or Doritos?
I truly love both. Cool Ranch Doritos.
Wow.
I grew up on Cheetos. I was a big Chester Cheetah guy.
Oh, nice.
But Ray, as I have aged into adulthood, I've moved away from the fun that is the Cheeto, and I've gone to the, more cosmopolitan Cool Ranch Dorito chip. So I'm probably a Cool Ranch guy. How about you?
I would go Doritos. I don't like Cool Ranch. The traditional, original, regular, whatever it is really good. But my favorite's actually the sweet chili, the purple bag. Oh, it's delicious. It's fantastic.
Yeah, the one that sucks, and I think we can all agree on this one, taco.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things, and I'm perfect at a lot of things. My Dorito trivia is a little shaky.
Okay.
A little shaky, but I think taco was the first flavor.
Okay, here we go. Rick Kamla. We were moments away from Thursday night football, so let's get into some props. We've got some enormous breaking news in the NBA. The Nets have suspended Kyrie Irving 5 games for the anti-Semitic retweet of a film that he did, and not apologizing for it, not coming out and specifically saying I'm not an anti-Semite, and sort of being rebellious and grounded, and now he's out at least 5 games, suspended by the Brooklyn Nets. I will certainly talk about this a little bit more later on in the show, but we're under a time crunch here to get these props out before the opening kickoff of Thursday night football. Jalen Hurts, 42.5 rushing yards. I'm going over this number. It's minus 125 to the over. Houston has the worst run defense in the NFL, and it's not even close. They're giving up 186 rushing yards per game, 30 more than Chicago, who's 31st. Jalen Hurts has gone over this number in only 3 of 7 games. Last week, he was so clean, so dominant, he could stand in the pocket and shred against the Steelers, who provided no resistance at all. There was no need for runs. Last week against Pittsburgh, 2 carries and 10 yards. By far the fewest rushing attempts that he's had all year. The flow of his rushing attempts game by game has gone 17, 11, 9, 16, 15, 9, and then 2. He is at least 9 rushes per game on the season outside of last week against Pittsburgh, which was a massive blowout. He didn't even finish the game. It was such a blowout. He averages 11 rushes per game, including last week. And he's 3.8 yards per carry. 11 times 3.8 is 41.8, right on this number. So why and how would Hurts go over this average as opposed to under or stay right on it? Because the Texans' run defense is legendarily bad. That's why. Also, the NFL isn't easy, especially on the road. And Hurts will have to sweat tonight. He's going to have to get grimy tonight. I don't think tonight's going to be as clean and as fun and pristine of a game as it was last week against Pittsburgh. That's not how it goes in the NFL. There's a bounce back factor element to this as well, with the lowest rushing game of the year for him. So to me, that's going to correct. Davis Mills, under 212.5 passing yards tonight, going under this number. Brandon Cooks is all pouted up. He's taken his ball and he's gone home. I think it's pathetic. I think it's lame. I think he should be playing football tonight. I think he should be a professional and honor his contract. Oh, they weren't able to trade me, so I'm going to just stay home. Come on, bro. This is the NFL. This is what we do here. It's not what we do over here. Philadelphia is 4th against the pass. 4th. They're giving up 183 passing yards per game. That's 12. That's 29 below our number here. 29. Mills has been over this number, 212.5, in 4 of 7 games, but this is his first game without Brandon Cooks as number 1 and Nico Collins as number 2. So that stat doesn't matter a whole lot. Without Cooks and Collins, who have combined for 50 catches this year, this is what's left. Jordan Akins has 11 catches. Chris Moore has 10 catches. Rex Burkhead and Dameon Pierce have caught a good number of passes. That's not enough. How does the math get to 212.5? To me, it doesn't. Dameon Pierce, 66.5. I'm going over this number of his rushing yards. Minus 125 to the over. Philadelphia's run defense is middle of the pack. It's 104. They give up 114 rushing yards per game. They're right in the middle of the pack. They're average against the run. Pierce's flow has gone 33, 69, 80, 131, 99, 92, 35. He's been over this number of 66.5 in 5 of 7 games this year. And the first game, that 33-yard game, remember that was the weird Rex Burkhead what the hell game, and they immediately fixed it and made Dameon Pierce the bell cow from week 2 on. So really, with Pierce in the role that he's in right now, he's over this number in 5 of 6 games. Last week, Dameon Pierce was under 15 carries, 35 yards against Tennessee. We can write this off. Tennessee has the second best run defense in the National Football League. Okay, you run up against the buzzsaw, Tennessee's run defense, cool. He's not running up against that buzzsaw tonight. It's Philly's run defense. They're middle of the pack. And the home road splits are in favor here for Dameon Pierce. He's at 4.98 yards per carry at home. He's at 4.20 yards per carry on the road. And look, Dameon Pierce is about all the Texans have tonight. And I know Philly knows this, but they don't have a dominant front seven that can just shut him down. And we got to get to 66.5. So I do like the over on that. I am on Philadelphia tonight, minus 14. Favorites of 10 points or more are 60% winners going back to 2010. So double-digit, faves usually get it done. But to me, Cooks and Collins make all the difference here. The fact that they are out of this game makes all the difference. If they were actually both playing in this game and it was still 14, it might not be, right? But if it was still 14, I would be playing Houston in this game to live inside that number if they had Cooks and Collins. Without Cooks and Collins, I don't see it. I'm asking the question, will the Texans get to 10 points tonight? Will they get to 10 points tonight? I can't guarantee that. My final score is 31-13 Philadelphia. I have Philly winning by 18. The line is 14. 31-13 Philadelphia wins tonight. I'm giving Houston 1 touchdown and 2 field goals, and I'm giving Philadelphia 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Jake Elliott's not a good fantasy player. He, Sirianni, they like to go for it. He doesn't like to kick threes. It's just his way. It's a very new school analytical approach, right? I'm not banging on Sirianni. The guy's kicking ass. He's undefeated. He's the front runner for Coach of the Year right now. Although, he's perfect. I got to still call him the front runner. I'm thinking of your boy, Brian Dable. But Brian Dable's 5-2, and my man Sirianni has a bagel in the loss column right now. So I do think he has a leg up on Coach of the Year. He's undefeated. He's perfect so far. So, all right, I want to check some of your comments here for just a moment, and we will bring on Johnny BTV momentarily here with NBC Sports Bet. Let's see. Let's go back here and catch up with some of your comments. By the way, late first half, Draymond Green with a big right-handed pack job. And he's smiling and the tongue is out and he's feeling good. The Golden State Warriors have opened up a 14-point bulge on the Orlando Magic here, 65-51. Golden State has opened up that proverbial can. Frankie Pug says Cam likes it moist, LOL. I do. I love the word moist. I love the word moist because my wife does not like the word moist. And so, of course, I say moist a lot. Jalen Suggs, by the way, just had a viral highlight. He was like, going up to the rim, falling down, and like flipped the ball up over his head as he was coming back down to the ground. Let me check. This was absolutely sensational. It actually wasn't as scoop de loop as I thought it was. He went right into Draymond Green and kind of like floated it up over him. And that was like Jalen Suggs, young fella. Like he should have flexed after it, right? Like on Draymond, like Draymond does, because he went right into Draymond and just like big boyed him. That was bully ball right there by the young fella Jalen Suggs on Draymond Green. I am here for that all day long. And here's Curry with about a 75-foot heave, and he put it off the heel. He literally almost hit that shot. So we're at the break here. And Golden State with the double-digit lead here over Orlando. Let me flip it back to the World Series and see what's happening here. We're on Philadelphia tonight. Houston already has a 1-0 lead. Syndergaard on the mound. We got 2 outs in the top of the first inning, and the Astros have a run on the board. That run is courtesy of Jeremy Pena, has an RBI. Scoring Jose Altuve. So they've already gotten to Noah Syndergaard here. It was a double by Altuve and then an RBI base hit by Pena scoring him. Verlander has yet to take the hill or take the ball in Philadelphia tonight, where the crowd is going crazy trying to inspire Syndergaard with an 0-2 count here on Bregman to strike him out and get out of the inning. And he does exactly that. Curveball on the outside portion of the plate. He painted the black beautifully, and Bregman is down on strikes. Philadelphia, by the way, wearing the super ultra dope baby blues with the crimson lining, the old school, the Mike Schmidt jerseys, right? The Mike Schmidt uniforms. I love that look. I'm not as crazy about the baby blue San Diego Chargers look that everybody just freaks out about, right? Like, Ooh, the baby blue of the San Diego Padres, Chargers, who are now, of course, the LA Chargers. Knock yourself out with that. It's not my cup of tea. But when the Phillies rock, you think of Tug McGraw, you think of Steve Carlton, Mike Schmidt. You think of even Pete Rose played in that uniform for a minute. So that's what that takes my brain, man. But here we go. Justin Verlander about to take the hill, about to take the ball for the Houston Astros. And he is about to get shredded tonight in Philly. And we bring in my boy, my young fella. This is my young fella right here. This is Johnny B TV coming out with your boy Rick Camley here on Bettor Sports Live. Happy Thursday Night Football, Johnny B TV.
Are you thirsty? Because it's Thirsty Thursday, baby. We got a Philly-Houston doubleheader, World Series, a crap Thursday night game, but it's football nonetheless. How you doing, baby? How's it going?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. We are good. We are good. We are good. We're not in half the controversy or half the turmoil Kyrie Irving is, and it feels damn good, Johnny B TV. So I want to know, like, how clocked up are you here on the World Series? Do you have money on the game? Have you been giving out touts on the game? Because I gave out, I don't know, about 27 bets earlier today on this game. I got Philly tonight, Johnny B TV. I think Verlander, worst World Series starting pitcher ever, is going to get shredded again. How do you see tonight's baseball game?
Yeah, so the Astros took an early 1-0 lead, but you know what? Even though they gave up a run in the first 4 pitches, it's great to see Syndergaard and the rest of the team buckle down. 1 run, that's it. You got to feel really good about where you're at if you're the Philadelphia Phillies. Guess what, man? Justin Verlander is the imposter JV. We got the real JV right here. We know Verlander can't deliver in the big time like this JV can. Putting out too many World Series bets. I got to be honest, I'm so out of it. I'm so focused on what we have going on here because the Phillies were my preseason pick for the World Series. Locked in there. I took a ticket also on the Astros to win the World Series before they played against Seattle. So, and I already hit the Phillies NL, so it was going well for me. But the big thing for me is if the Astros win, that's fine. But I need Schwarber to win the MVP now. I took a nice stake at him yesterday, and of course it dropped off big from plus 900 to plus 1,700, but still be a nice payday, so I would love that to come home. Maybe the big boy could hit me a tater right here. I'm not watching, though, so you have to fill me in.
First pitch, it is a high strike off the hand of Justin Verlander with Schwarber nodding his head. Yep, good pitch, good call. I just told the people, Johnny B TV, that I love Christian Javier at a plus 1,200 as World Series MVP based on the no-hitter last night. I believe he'll pitch in Game 7. We'll see if it goes 7. Schwarber, deep and gone. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Woo!
My boy
Let's go, and I missed it.
My boy just called it.
Yo, we're looking good, baby. We're looking good. Oh, my God. I couldn't even watch. You wouldn't even want to know what I was going to do if I watched it. Did he really hit a ta-ta?
Bro, dinger, Gonski. I told the people, Johnny B TV, I said, play Schwarber at plus 1,700 to win World Series MVP.
Did you?
I did, because he's neck and neck with Harper, with Bohm. And they're like nobody has separated in the Philly lineup. They've got 4 dudes that have all kind of done about the same thing. And so why would Schwarber be at plus 1,700 and Harper be at plus 390? Didn't make any sense to me. And now Schwarb's already taken it out of the yard.
Somebody go to visit Tater Town. Listen, here was the theory I put out yesterday on Twitter. Ran it by a couple people. And you hit the nail on the head. I don't know if you read my tweet or not, but basically what I said was Harper and Schwarber have pretty much the same numbers, with actually Schwarber slightly better, and he's playing the field. Now, obviously, Harper has the narrative. That's fine. But in my opinion, this year is going at least 6 games. So if that's the case, they have a lot of time to make up. And when you're that close statistically, Schwarber's the kind of guy that could take over with one swing of the game, as you just saw and I just heard. And listen, we're seeing Schwarber hit that home run. That's monumental. because the Schwarber, let's say, has another base hit. Phillies win tonight. Now we're going into game 6 with the Phillies have an opportunity to close this thing out in Houston. And Harper has these odds are already going to flip-flop. And I'm really upset at myself because I did not play Schwarber again tonight at plus 1,700 because I was starting to get to the territory where I was like, okay, like if there's a path that everything that I bet doesn't come home, then I'm really kind of boxing myself in. I'm not going to make as much money. But it's great to see, man. It really is. How you doing?
Yeah. How you doing? How you like me now? I was Johnny VTV many years ago. A-Rod was actually still a Yankee. I was doing a hit on Fox Sports Radio from Old Yankee Stadium with a beer in one hand and my phone in the other. And I was on with Chris Myers or some big time radio host out there. And yeah, I love Chris Myers. And it was a basketball hit, NBA TV, the whole thing. But I'm at the Yankee game. And literally, I gave him a live call of an A-Rod home run live during the radio interview. It was a dope moment, man. A-Rod went oppo, and the place was going crazy. They were freaking out. It was a fun moment. We just had a similar moment right there. Schwarber goes, dinger. Oh, by the way, Hoskins, the next man up, hit a laser beam to left field that Alvarez caught. But Verlander already literally firing batting practice up there to the Philadelphia Phillies tonight.
He's the fraud. That's why the Cy Young Award should go to my boy Cease Daddy. Dylan Cease, definitely the best pitcher in the American League this year, even though he played behind the worst defense that you could possibly ask for that money can buy. I wanted to ask you real quick what your thoughts are if the Astros should prove victorious. Obviously, their offense, they haven't had one true standout. Kyle Tucker in game 1. I don't think he should be rewarded if his only big performance is in that game. So my bet now, price on it, if the Phillies should win tonight, it's Framber Valdez. So I think if Valdez repeats what he did in game 2, he's the guy I would go after. Because I don't know necessarily, I'm sure they would throw Javier on Sunday in game 7, but it's still a little bit of short rest. And as well as Javier pitched, I would much rather believe repeat what he did, and he's more capable of it than Javier. I'm not taking with anything from Javier. He pitched unbelievable, but at the end of the day, man, I would bet that he doesn't repeat it in that fashion again in game 7.
So I mean, to that fashion, I'm with you there. But in the Yankees start for Christian Javier, he went 5 1/3 and allowed 1 hit. This guy's given up 1 hit in 11 1/3 playoff innings as a starting pitcher in these playoffs. 1 hit in 11 plus innings. So I feel very good about Javier mowing down the Phillies again. I don't know about no hitting them and all that kind of stuff, but that's why I like Javier at a plus 1,200. And I do like Valdez. I think that's a fine call by you, but I'm over here with Christian Valdez. I mean, the guy threw a no-hitter, and you talk about narratives. This is a vote-based award. Mm-hmm. Baseball writers and media members will vote on this award. What do baseball writers and media members love? We love narratives, okay? And so if you have a narrative, it's very much in your favor to win MVP. And so Javier has an outstanding narrative in his favor. He just threw a damn no-hitter. Well, the first 2/3 of a no-hitter. But so very similarly, we talk about Harper and Schwarber and their World Series MVP odds. Tucker and Bregman going into tonight, Johnny B TV, were the exact same. Both were at plus 450. Yet Tucker is at 286, 2 homers, 5 RBI. Bregman's at 188, 1 homer, 4 RBI. I don't get it. It's probably a reputation thing, right? Bregman's been around the block. He's got a ring, all this kind of stuff. But Tucker has a leg up on Bregman right now for World Series MVP. So why would they have the same exact odds? That's why I would take Tucker at a plus 450 over a Bregman at a plus 450. But like I said, all of these other ancillary ones I'd be messing around with. The one that I would be playing would be Christian Javier at a plus 1,200. I love the return on that investment because I got it going 7, Johnny VTV. Before the series began, I said Astros in 7, and we're right on pace for what I called. I said Verlander's going to suck in 2 of the starts. They're going to lose both of those games. And overall, the Astros pitching is going to prove to be better than the Phillies pitching. And I believe that, and I thought that Philly would win 2 out of the 3 here, and then Houston would have to go bang bang in 6 and 7. And so we're right on pace for what I thought. And so I'm gonna hang in there with that, Johnny VTV.
I would take both Valdez and Javier because I think in some capacity the Astros, like I said, I think it's going 7. So the both of them are capable of doing what they did. But now you kind of ensure yourself that if, let's say, the Astros win tonight, right, and then they're up 3-2, they have to go back to Houston or whatever the next game, Saturday. Then what happens is if Valdez throws a gem and closes it out, and that's his second fantastic start, he's also got the recency bias that he just pitched it, so I think he would get it. Then I could see where you're saying with Javier. That's why I like both of them. I think taking both of them are good. The offense, there's nobody that truly has stood out for the Astros. And that's why I didn't like taking anybody pre-series. I was like, who do you pick from? There's legitimately 6 or 7 guys on this team that can win it. And it might come down to one swing and solid, but it's primarily off one great game against Nola in the first game of the series. And there's just a couple guys here have a nice hit, and it's kind of being spread around. So I definitely think, should the Astros prove victorious, it's going to be one of Christian Javier or Framber Valdez.
I mean, what can I say? I like the breakdown. I like it a lot. It's Johnny VTV hanging out with your boy Rick Hamley here. The Texans have a touchdown on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
They do?
Yes, it is Davis Mills with a touchdown pass to, let me see if I can say his name right here, Tegan Cuturiano. Never heard of him before.
First touchdowns are outrageous. Oh man, my internet is my internet's not good. So if I was streaming a game while watching it, it would be really choppy, which I think happened a couple weeks ago. Somebody have me call Optimum, please. So that's why I'm not watching anything live right now.
I understand. You obviously you got to get that right, my friend. So what? We got a fly out here to left field. Alvarez gloves it, and we are through the first inning. 1-1. RBI base hit by Pena, scoring Altuve, and Schwarber went big blast on Justin Verlander. I will say this: Verlander is like, he's throwing hard tonight. I'm seeing 95, 96, and the old man is throwing hard tonight. I'll say that. But he's already given up a home run here. Johnny VTV, I gave to the people a couple of wagers here tonight. I said we want cross sports special, the Philly special. We want the combo platter of Philly total home runs and Philly total touchdowns. The number was 4.5. And so we told the people to go over on that one. And we're already, in with one home run here on Schwarber. I also told them to play both Schwarber and Harper to hit a home run tonight, as we targeted Justin Verlander. Schwarber was a plus 310 to go yard. That's already cashed. Harper a plus 390 to go yard. I still love that wager if people can get on it with the live betting. Verlander was a target for me tonight, my brother. Literally put it on a tree, give me a crossbow, let me attack that target. I mean, this guy is the worst World Series pitcher in the history of baseball.
Who is he? Clayton Kershaw 2.0? How are two guys surefire?
How dare you compare Clayton Kershaw to this guy? How dare you? He's got a 6
playoffs too.
I know he's got it. Verlander is a 6 ERA in the World Series, bro. A 6. He's 0-6. Let me look up Kershaw's stats here. I'll get his World Series.
He had like
stats here
one good. Their Mickey Mouse World Series. In 2020, the bubble. I think he was solid there. But let's not kid ourselves. He's still pretty bad historically in postseason.
You crack me up, bro. What? So I guess you think the Laker championship in the bubble was garbage too, right? You're gonna call that one
absolutely.
A rinky dink.
Yeah, I do. That changed everything.
Oh my God, it cracks me up. All right, so Clayton Kershaw in the World Series has a career ERA of 4.46, 38 innings, 19 runs allowed. Basically a run every other inning. So he's got a 4.5 ERA in the World Series. But my man Verlander's at 6, man. So I understand the comparison, I do, but how dare you, man? How dare you put Kershaw in the same category with JV?
Sorry, how could I? I couldn't believe it. You know what? I'm actually sweating this. I hate Thursdays. I did Philly, so I put out today. Just to mention everybody, the Eagles are the best first half team in football, and I took them at -7. And obviously, we're in a hole here, and of course, they could turn it around, but Thursdays are the worst, man. This is the one day of the week where truly weird stuff happens. And I really want to know if anybody had a ticket for this guy to have the first touchdown. 6,000 for this guy to have the first touchdown. This is just, it's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Johnny, he might not have even been on the board. You might, I literally, I know third tight ends. I know some practice squad guy. I literally don't know who this man is. I didn't know he was a human being on earth. Tegan Huey Toriano. I literally did not know that man existed on earth.
Jordan Akins was my guy. Jordan Akins was actually my long shot because I was like, hey, he's a sneaky tight end who's got some skills. Maybe Davis Mills line, little play action, rollout, find Akins back in the end zone. But it is this guy who we have just never heard of. Good for him, though. Good for him.
We've never. He's on the radar now somehow, some way. I'm going to call him Quentin Tarantino because that's as close as I can come here. Tegan Corey Italiano or something. I'm going to go Quentin Tarantino, man. Probably the greatest filmmaker of all time. Tell me you're a Quentin Tarantino fan, Johnny BTV.
Yeah, now listen, I like him. I think you're speaking blasphemy here, saying he's the best of all time. Excuse me.
No, I think did I say one?
There's a guy named Martin. I have spoken. There's a guy named Martin Scorsese that exists. He is the pinnacle of filmmaking, television and film.
I don't disagree. Didn't I just say that Quentin Tarantino is one of the best filmmakers of all time? Or did I say
I heard best. I heard best, not one of.
Okay, so maybe there was a hiccup or something. But Score says he's right up there. How about Stanley Kubrick? You familiar with his work?
Yes, I am. Very, very strong.
Very strong.
I would say if I wasn't in the sports betting fantasy, if I didn't want to have a career in sports, I probably would have taken up acting. My friends call me Johnny Drama because I tend to be dramatic at times. And I don't know if I picked it up from my mom or my dad, but nonetheless, I am a tad dramatic sometimes.
We love it. Don't change a thing, man. Don't change a thing. Johnny BTV hanging out with your boy Cam here on Bettor Sports Live on the Bettor Sports Network. We have a giveaway at the top of the hour, 9:00 Eastern time, a Jalen Hurts autographed full-size helmet. Go to @Bettor Network. You can't have it, but Johnny BTV, what you do is you follow us on Twitter @Bettor Network. You like the tweet and retweet the tweet with the Hurts helmet, and then you might win it. Like that's literally all you have to do. You have to be a follower of us, a patron of us, and you have to retweet the tweet with the helmet in it. We don't really ask a whole lot here.
Oh, listen. As we speak, I obviously follow Bettor Sports Network, so I don't know what's going on here, right? Of course, like here we go. There's the like and there's the follow.
Oh,
retweet.
I will freak out if at 9:00 Bennett Carroll and Anthony Rivera tell me the winner tonight is Johnny BTV. I will absolutely freak out if you win the Jalen, like in a good way. I won't like be pissed or jealous or anything like that. But all right, let's get into the week. What the hell week are we? Is it week 9? Are we going into week 9, Johnny BTV? It is week 9. It is week 9. All right, I want to start with a puke bucket of a game, but it obviously has a lot of historical intrigue. I'm talking about Rams at Buccaneers. Will we have a touchdown in the game? Will both quarterbacks emerge alive after this game? And the Buccaneers are laying a field goal here. I'm on the Buck side of this, man. I can't get with the Rams right now, Johnny BTV. To me, if you put your thumb on their wrist and tried to ascertain a pulse, I believe you would not be able to find that pulse. That's how dead to me the Rams are.
All right. I'm done betting on games that involve the Bucs. That's why I'm off of it. Ordinarily, +3 because they had a bad loss to the Niners, but what else is new? In other words, water is wet. It's the battle of frat head coaches where Kyle Shanahan just seems to have it. Kyle Shanahan's he's like the brother to Sean McVay's like pledgee that always makes him do things that probably shouldn't be said in a frat house. So I think, they're due for a bounce back. Cooper Kupp is the one to keep an eye on. It sounds like he's going to play. Why McVay had him in the game other than to cash my over down 17 with a minute and a half left is beyond me. I really just can't comprehend that. I think it also goes further to the point that he loves stat padding for Kupp. I want to go with the Rams.
You think that's exactly why he did it?
I think that's what happens. I want to go with the Rams here, man. The Bucs, they're in a tough stretch. I think they have to win this game because Germany, they forfeited a home game next week against Seattle, who nobody wants to play right now. I think this is a spot where the Bucs have to win. Don't think they do. And don't take my word for it because I'll be the first one to say just cannot get a read on Tampa Bay this year. But I think the Rams, they're gonna have too much for Cooper Kupp. They're not gonna be able. The Bucs aren't gonna be able to contain him. They're not gonna be able to stop Aaron Donald up the middle. The run game, Leonard Fournette, as much as I love him, he looks like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. He looks like he's stuck in Jell-O. I just don't know who's gonna make a play. Like Evans will have a solid game against Ramsey. Godwin will be solid, but the Bucs defense looks horrendous. The coaching is gonna matter at some point. All these dumb penalties. The Rams aren't being as outcoached as Tampa Bay is, and that's a bigger concern for me as opposed to from both defense and offense.
Noah Syndergaard just struck out something and someone named David Hensley, the DH for the Astros tonight as Dusty Baker goes deep into his bag of tricks. So Thor is through 2 innings, only 27 pitches. So he's off to a great start here in that regard. He's given up a run. But you think 27 pitches in 2 innings is really good efficiency. And if he wants to make it to the 5th inning, he's going to have to be efficient. He's thrown 35 pitches, is the most he's thrown in an appearance in these playoffs. He's already at 27. So I don't think we're necessarily hook mode yet, but wanted to let you all know that something they named David Hensley just struck out for the Houston Astros. No, he was not on the fantasy radar or on any of my fantasy baseball championship teams this past season. But we're hanging out with Johnny B TV right here. If you heard a low-key flex in there, yes, you heard a low-key flex in there. I have a vibe, Johnny B TV, about a football game this Sunday called the Minnesota Vikings losing at the Washington Commanders, and once again proving why they're the chokiest franchise in the history of North American professional sports. I believe this is the what the hell Vikings game at the Commanders with my boy, the super underrated and super slept on Taylor Heineke, who's way more talented than anybody ever wants to give him credit. I have Washington plus the 3.5. How about you?
Not playing this game. It's Vikings or pass for me at -3. And I understand what everybody's thinking. But remember this. They played, I think, 15 of 17 games last year as one-score games. And they lost 7 or 8 of them. I can't remember. I think they went 6 and 8 in one-score games. Turn around this year, they're winning. All their games that they're playing this year, they're all one-score games the last 4 or 5 games. They're winning all of them. So you can see what Kevin O'Connell's done coming in and changing the culture where these are games Minnesota's losing last year. So this counts for something. They're not a solidified juggernaut. The team, but they have a lot of flaws in their roster. I understand it. But truth be told, the weakness of the Minnesota Vikings still is their secondary. They're allowing top 5 most catches and yards, and I think touchdowns to wide receivers this year. But at the end of the day, as much as I love Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel, and I think they have a good game, I just don't think it's going to be enough to overcome. The running game between Gibby and Brian Robinson is just not looking as crisp as we thought it might. And the defense is right game for Justin Jefferson, who hasn't scored since week 1. Dalvin Cook is in line for a biggie. They just got TJ Hawkinson. Hello. I think this is a spot where Minnesota is going to stay hot and continue to put distance between themselves and the Green Bay Packers, ultimately vying for the NFC number 2 seed.
Wow. We're on the other side of that one. The Eagles are in the end zone. The Eagles are in the end zone. Have you seen it? Would you like to take a guess who scored that touchdown for the Eagles?
Oh, I'm checking the game page. It's Miles Sanders on a nice 18-play, a long drive for 18-play, 91 yards. That is so not the Philadelphia Eagles. And, like, not for nothing, could Jalen Hurts have accounted for a tutty with a little Dallas gaudy magic back in the end zone? Miles Sanders he doesn't do it for me. I don't have him involved.
I understand. I think you will get the Hurts to Goddard touchdown. I have the Eagles scoring 4 touchdowns tonight, so they're 1. They have 3 more to go. I have the Texans scoring 1 touchdown tonight with a couple of field goals here. Did you do a final score in this game? I went 31-13. Philly over Houston. Did you? And a lot of times we see you're like, damn, Cam, like you already lost that. No, I haven't. How many games do you see? Boom, right out of the chute, right down the field, touchdown, and that team does not score another touchdown. It happens. We may have, especially when you've got a defense as strong as Philadelphia. Here's Jean Segura with a searing base hit to left field. But what was your final score on this game? Johnny, do we have you? I think his internet is. You're kind of you're kind of cutting out on us a little bit here. I asked you what was your final score on the Thursday night game tonight?
Oh no! You got me?
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
See, that's what I'm saying with the internet. My apologies. But
that's all good.
I think the Eagles were live to drop a 30 bean against the Texans. I think in typical fashion, what was going to happen is they get out 28 to, let's say, 10 in the first half, and then they sit on the lead as they do in the second half, run the ball a lot against the worst rush defense in football against the Texans, right? 186 yards per game. I don't really understand who's playing defense on this side of the ball that they allow that to happen. But I was thinking something along the lines of like 34-13. I do know the total got steamed to the over. Somebody was thinking something about this game here where it went from 40 in the last day or so.
Wow. Just like I said, 34-31, pardon me. 34-13 was where I was at with that. Wow. Yeah, Johnny B. TV is hanging out with Rick Camley here on Bettor Sports Live. Green Bay at Detroit, my friend. I got a Detroit vibe because they play better at home. They're very feisty at home. And I think Green Bay is shot, toasty, in a casket, underground. They are DOA, my friend. And I know it's a week-to-week league, and just when you think a team is like, I'm not seeing it from the Rams, and I'm not seeing it from the Packers. Every week I watch, it's the same thing, the same movie over and over and over and over and over, and we're halfway through the year. So I'm done expecting, Green Bay is going to look like Green Bay this week. Oh, the Rams are going to look like the Rams this week. These are crappy teams. We're watching bad football. We're watching mediocre football teams with these two teams. You don't agree?
No, I think they're downright bad. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's done, man. He's checked out. And I'm not saying he has no more talent. I still think he's a top 3 QB in the league.
Does he look happy out there, Johnny BTV?
No,
Does he look happy?
No. But you know what, man? He went back for $45 million a year, $40 million a year. You want to be miserable? You're here. A lot of other people are miserable, not making $40 million a year. I think obviously there's a lack of talent, but now we're seeing how Matt LaFleur, like Mike McCarthy, is just not that good of a coach. Aaron Rodgers, for over a decade, has covered up tons of deficiencies on offenses. And people don't notice until the playoffs because, hey, man, they win 13 games, 12 games, get first for the playoffs, top seed, all that, year in and year out. And everybody's like, oh, no, they're fine. They have Rodgers. They have Devontae Adams, the best duo in football. No argument. But then when you get to the playoffs and there's underperforming, but we saw last year in San Francisco against San Francisco in the playoffs just how bad Matt LaFleur's coaching was. And then, of course, the first person they blame is Aaron Rodgers. I think they're done, man. I think they're done. And just when I say that, I watched them pop out this week. But I feel like Detroit's going to stand up. They have been on the wrong side of losing a lot of these close games. Swift should play. They have Khalif Raymond, I think, is in for a good one. Hawkinson, yeah, he's gone, but he wasn't really doing much anyway. I just think this is a spot where Detroit getting 3.5 at home is probably the more favorable look. I think I think Rodgers, if he doesn't find a way to get cut or traded in the offseason, I think he might just retire. I think he's done with it. Probably wants it over as quickly as possible. Because guess what, man? If Green Bay loses this week outright, we're probably, barring a dramatic turnaround, not seeing them in the playoffs. And what was the last time Rodgers was not in the playoffs?
I mean, they've won 13 games 3 straight years going into this year, right? I mean, they're one of the usual suspects in this thing. And this year, the bottom has fallen out. And I agree with everything you said about Rodgers. The guy can still throw the ball. Anatomically, he's not as good as he once was. Clearly, he's not moving with his core and lower half like he once was. But the guy still can thread it and feather it like few ever have. Has nobody to throw to. The offensive line is not good. And you got good backs. You got a good defense. But, I mean, you've got holes in this. But it's a vibe thing. He acts so pissed and so disengaged and so disinterested and so aloof and barking at teammates. And, they're screwing up out there. But it's just all bad. And it would not surprise me if he retired. So I got to give you the scenario in the baseball game here, Johnny VTV. It is bottom of 2, Schwarber at the plate, 3-1 pitch right here, 2 outs, 2 on. Do we get a dinger on this pitch right here?
We get a ta-ta to left this time. Give me 450 left.
450 and he's saying Oppo right here. Here's the
Oppo
pitch.
Taco.
He walked him.
Okay.
They walked him.
Listen. That keeps the line moving. That gets the on-base percentage up. That's fine. That's fine.
Here's the thing. He didn't even have the chance to swing at it. It was an awful pitch. It was a hanging curveball, like way up high and out of the zone. It was just a disgusting pitch.
What's the situation? It's bottom 2. What's the score?
Bottom 2, 1-1, 2 outs, bases juiced. And we have Rhys Hoskins. Is he going to go yard ski and do one of those bat spikes that was so fantastic?
I mean, that'd be absolute gas, but I just don't know if he's gonna. I feel like Hoskins, little single up the middle. We'll get 2 runs home, reclaim this lead, put a little cushion in between us and the Astros here. Hoskins, he hasn't been great, but he's come up with big home runs.
Yes.
Like in the postseason, his average, I think, is below 200. But he's got like
timely hits, though. Doesn't it feel like he's playing a lot better than that? It does. Just the optics and the eye test of it speak to a different thing.
Yeah, man, listen, hitting baseball to me is the most mental sport out there. Maybe boxing too, because you mentally have to be strong with boxing. But in terms of the 4 major sports, baseball is by far the most mental game because you fail, you succeed 3 out of 10 times. You're great. You succeed 4 out of 10 times, you're legendary. And no other game is it you fail that many times and you're still good. So you're still failing a lot, yet you could still be good. But it takes a lot of mental fortitude to persist, and especially with pitching, man. Pitchers are probably the weirdest creatures on the planet. They really are. Pitchers are a weird, strange breed.
They are, man. And so, all right, we'll talk through this at bat right here, and then I'll let you go here. Here's a 0-2 pitch. It's low and outside. Hoskins, by the way, swung and flailed at. I don't know if Verlander has a slider and a curveball, but it was an off-speed pitch and waved at it. Then he fouled one off and he watched this one, so it's 1-2 right now. But you're so right about Rhys Hoskins. It's been big hit after big hit. And I saw a stat when runners are on base, like. The numbers just like spike and go off the charts. When there's nobody on, most of the times you're getting him out. And so Verlander's really getting himself into the lobster pot here. Super high pitch for ball 2. And the fans are starting to stir. And I mean, it's just kind of building to a crescendo right here. 2 outs, second inning, 2-2 count. I mean, the crowd's going crazy right here. They're anticipating a big knock from Rhys Hoskins. Game 5 of the World Series. Here we go. Verlander swung on and missed. He struck him out. Verlander with a nice curveball right there. That was a good pitch by Verlander. I got to give him credit.
So one thing about Verlander with his mechanics, and he's so tall, right? He's 6'5", but I think he has one of, if not the highest release point when he lets the ball go. So sometimes if you're not staying down enough on it, that's when a ball could sail on you, or you're overcompensating. Verlander's no longer a max effort guy. He'll rear back when he has to. He's still got 98 in his back pocket in key situations. But a lot of times you see when guys are overcompensating or their mechanics are a little out of whack. That's why they're consistently not throwing strikes. And some of that might have to do with the pressure of the situation. The magnitude of this game obviously can affect a lot of different guys, especially even a guy like Verlander who's going to game when he retires.
That was a huge strikeout by Verlander. Again, bases were loaded for Hoskins and the whole world against him, and Verlander snapped off a mighty curveball to get out of that inning. Johnny B. TV, you the man. I love hanging out with you, brother. Tell the people where to watch you, where to listen to you, where to read you.
Yep, so NBC Sports Edge, I always put up my articles every week, and as well as my Twitter @ Johnny VTV, Instagram _ and TikTok Johnny VTV. Always putting out the fire content with all the plays, the write-ups, all that good stuff. Cam, before you let me go, I have one game that I wanted to just quickly touch on if you had 2 minutes.
Of course, hit me.
Seattle, Arizona. Seattle, again, the look-ahead line before last week was about 2.5. Arizona minus 2.5. Now, we saw a little action that got the Hawks down to plus 1.5. And I thought possibly there was going to be enough steam to get Seattle as a road favorite. Yet it's settling around Seattle +2. Are you sticking with the Hawks during this hot streak, or do you think Arizona gets revenge for the Week 6 loss?
This is a really, really tough one to diagnose because Arizona has been trash at home this year. Mm-hmm. You think, they're back home, and they've been absolute hideous trash at home this year. This is one of those Monday Night Football fit this description, Johnny BTV. Cincinnati rolling going in, Cleveland sucking going in. So, of course, I picked Cleveland, right? Because just when you think you got it all figured out and this team is this team and this team is this team, the NFL bamboozles you, right? And so I actually told the people play Cleveland tonight. And Cleveland blew them out. It wasn't even close. So this game to me is that game. You just said, man, nobody wants to play Seattle right now. They're kind of the talk of the NFL, taking the NFL by storm. Geno Smith leads the NFL in completion percentage. Like, it's just all good, right? They're back. Legion of Boom is back, all this kind of stuff. In Arizona comes off the loss to Minnesota. And so so to me, this is like the contrarian game. I'll take Arizona.
I'm going to go against you. I picked Seattle 7 straight weeks. 6 straight weeks. We're going to make it 7. I believe in the Seahawks team. And I told you how much I can't stand Russell Wilson. And I love that they're winning. It just validates my opinion. I think a lot of people owe me an apology engraved. I'll take an engraved watch if you have the time. But I think the matchup always favors Seattle, because Seattle can run the ball. Arizona can't. James Conner, even if he plays, he looks slower than slow. DeAndre Hopkins looks phenomenal. Back-to-back Hyundai pieces, which is great considering I drafted him last year. He didn't give me. Kyler Murray, man, he's another one. He just doesn't want to be he's talented, but he doesn't want to be there because he doesn't like Cliff Kingsbury. The two don't jive. They never have. They always have very public disputes on field. There's not many paths, in my opinion, for Arizona to win this game. I mean, if Geno and Kenny Walker and the offense keep playing their brand of football, if I see Arizona winning, and they've been horrendous at home, and I want to toot my own horn here, but I think I told you this before. I would feel confident in saying there is not a person on this planet that knows the Arizona Cardinals better than I do. I know what they're going to do before they do. As a matter of fact, it's actually funny because our circuit group last week, we always have a Friday call to discuss who we like, and the Cardinals +3.5 at the Vikings came up. all three of the guys were like, no, let's take the Cardinals. I like them. I was like, guys, no, this is a spot where they lose. I'm telling you, I don't like them. Like, why? I was like, because the Vikings are a better team. The Cardinals aren't going to be able to get with the mismatches. I just don't think the defense is good enough. No, we're taking the Cardinals. Okay, I'm just letting you know, if the Cardinals lose, remember who said the Vikings, and then what happens. As a matter of fact, Rick, I've been on the right side of every single Cardinals game that I've played or talked about since the middle of November last year.
Wow.
Except that's a fact. That's a fact, because last year and this year I write them up almost every week. The only game I wasn't right on them was the Eagles game, when honestly they should have covered. The Eagles took their foot off the gas. They ran like a 20-play drive. Sirianni settles for the field goal. But in any case, that's my opinion. I'm going to stick with Seattle. I want them to keep winning because I think they're legit, man. I think they have a shot to get in as the 2 seed if they win this division. I think they're going to cause a lot of teams in the NFC some problems. I really do.
They've done a great job of drafting on the defensive side with Cody Barton and Kobe Bryant and Woolen, and they've done a great job of rebuilding the defense. They really have. And these guys are talented. They're nasty. They fly to the ball. They hit. Schneider and Carroll, they really have rebuilt this team, and they've proven us all wrong to this point. But Johnny B. TV, you the man, my friend. Go enjoy the rest of your night with the baseball and the football, and we'll talk with you next Thursday.
You too. One more thing. I may be in Tampa for Thanksgiving. I may.
Really?
So if I am, obviously, really. Obviously, I think we have to meet up in person. Maybe do a little live segment, live show. I'll definitely keep you posted, my man.
Yeah,
enjoy your weekend.
Yeah. Let me know if you're coming down here. Let's definitely get together, my friend. You the man, Johnny V TV. Good luck and have a great weekend.
You too, man. Thank you.
It's my boy right there, Johnny V TV. That's my young fella, people. We got to take a break right now. Again, in moments, we're going to give away the Jalen Hurts autographed full-size Eagles helmet, okay? And the Eagles and the Texans right now as we speak, 7-7, early second quarter. Stick around, okay? You still got a chance to win it. You got to follow at Bettor Network. You got to retweet the post with the Hurts helmet in it. And you got to listen, and you got to look a lot, and you got to be lucky. So we're next going to be giving out the Jalen Hurts autographed full-size Eagles helmet right here with Rick Kamla on Bettor Sports Live.
Collectible moments.
Everybody up here at U.S. Cellular. Sox 5 runs, 6 hits. The 2-1 to Bartlett. Swing, chop to short. Ramirez has it, throws. Burley picks the perfect game. His second no-hitter. People going crazy here at U.S. Cellular. He's mobbed by his teammates. A perfecto.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right up, 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the impounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up at him. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left.
Out of the I formation on first down. Peterson to carry, looking for running room on the right side, has it to the 25, across the 30, across the 35, and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Adrian Peterson has just gone over 2,000 yards for the season, the 7th man in NFL history to cross the 2,000-yard mark.
Well, a thundering ovation for number 66, Mario Lemieux.
Just the emotion I'm sure Mario is feeling in this place. You don't appreciate something until it's gone, and it's so great to have Mario back.
Yager turns around. Over to Lemieux. Mario Lemieux, his first goal in his comeback here tonight at the Mellon Arena. And the Penguins lead 3-0, and he is smiling like a butcher's dog. Mario Lemieux.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. The Bears have scored, but the Bands are out on the field.
Pearson moves in front of the STP Dodge. Petty comes back to the inside. They almost touch as they move down low in the bank, and you're going to be side by side as they exit the bank and head for the finish line.
Richard Petty goes back in front. They both spin. They're in the wall. Petty is sliding
slamming into the wall. He's coming down toward the finish line. Will he make it? Pearson is still running. The winner is car number 21. An amazing finish. Richard Petty's car demolished in the front end, as well as car number 21. An unbelievable finish, a terrible crash. David Pearson has won the Daytona 500. Leitner catches, comes down, dribbles, shoots, scores! Christian Leitner has hit the bucket at the buzzer! Pitched by Downing, swinging, there's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7-15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron. The most valuable player is Magic Johnson. 42 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists. He starts at center, plays forward and guard, and leads the Los Angeles Lakers to a world championship 123-107 over Philadelphia.
Whether you collect sports memorabilia, fantasy championships, or winning bet slips, talk about it on Bettor Sports Network.
All right, we are back on Bettor Sports Network, Bettor Sports Live, and we, folks, have a winner of the Jalen Hurts autographed full-size Eagles helmet. His name is Bron Witten at CA Golden 1. Bron Witten has won, folks, from us here at Bettor Sports Network, a really gorgeous piece of memorabilia and a collectible Jalen Hurts autographed full-size Eagles helmet, and it's a really, really attractive piece, man. It's the green helmet, and what I like is it's I guess it would be silver. I guess it looks white here in this picture, but like, you know, the silver Sharpie, so you can write your autograph over a dark surface as opposed to like a dark pen over a dark surface, right? It looks really, really cool. It really does. Beautiful piece, and it is going right now to Bron Witten. What a cool name, by the way. Bron Witten. Sounds like a ball player, doesn't it? At CA Golden 1. So for years, I've been a fan of Jalen Hurts and a believer in Jalen Hurts. And he's balling, of course, right now against the Houston Texans. Let me give you his stat line here and give you an update on Eagles and Texans. It is 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it is 7-7 right now. Eagles and Texans down there in Houston. Jalen Hurts is already having a really exceptional game throwing the ball. He's 10 of 14 throwing, 129 yards, does not have a touchdown yet. He's -4 rushing yards, which is not good. We had the over at 42.5 on his rushing yards. He is going to have to bust off a long one, 25, 30-yard chunk to get us back on pace for this. But it is what it is. But Jalen Hurts throwing the ball magnificently so far tonight. A.J. Brown has 40 yards. Devontae Smith has 22 yards. Quez Watkins has 25 yards. Goddard has 16 yards. So he's spreading it around beautifully here tonight. But Jalen Hurts is a guy that I've always believed in. And going back to his Alabama days, going back to his Oklahoma days, I have met people that know Jalen and his family, and they cannot stop raving about how good and how quality of people they are. Second round pick to the Philadelphia Eagles, 53rd overall back in 2020. And a lot of people are like, what, why, how? You had Carson Wentz at the time. Well, they knew that Carson Wentz was not getting along with people and not playing all that well. And so they positioned themselves to have their quarterback of the future, who's now the quarterback of the present, and he's an MVP candidate. And in terms of collectibles on Jalen Hurts, I would recommend buying his rookie football cards. I would recommend getting pieces like this autographed full-size Eagles helmet that we just gave away to Bron Witten, because he is way ahead of schedule. And you know how it is in the NFL. I need it all right now. I need it all, matter of fact, yesterday. We can't wait for guys to germinate and develop and anything like that anymore, right? Which I think is garbage. And so many of these quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield should still be in Cleveland trying to figure it out, right? And, maybe not Sam Darnold, but I think you catch my point, right? We give up on these young quarterbacks way, way too soon. And, remember coming into this year, remember, Jalen Hurts was on a hot seat of sorts. Remember, coming into this season, not in fantasy football, we all know the ground goodies, the rushing touchdowns, the rushing yards with the passing, like he's a fantasy stud. We knew that. But there was no guarantee that Jalen Hurts would make it through this season as a starter. No guarantee that he would emerge after this season going into 2023 as the starter. They do have Gardner Minshew on this team. I mean, not that, but I'm just saying that was the narrative. That was the thought coming into the season. This is not for me. This was not a make or break season for Jalen Hurts. Next year would have been the make or break season for Jalen Hurts. All right. Justin Fields is another guy. Let's give this guy time. Let's give him time. And let's give him 4 years. That's right. I said 4. This is his second year as a starting quarterback. Next year, he's going to be better. Year 4, he's going to be ready to pop and win 10 games and be a Pro Bowler and all that kind of stuff. These are super, super young guys. But for Jalen Hurts, like, he's an MVP candidate right now. He's literally it's Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts. That's your MVP race right now in the NFL. And he's in his second full season as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. This is a guy you should be loading up on his collectibles right now. We're talking about a long career, lots of wins, like maybe a Super Bowl. I mean, they're obviously in the Super Bowl fast lane right now. I'm just saying. And I have no worries about Jalen Hurts. Oh, is he going to get paid and change and, turn into Kyler Murray, right? Kyler Murray is so upset and so surly and just looks like not a fun guy to be around. Everybody loves Jalen Hurts. Everybody. The media, the kids, the parents, his teammates, the coaches, the owner's bot. They all love him. He's a phenomenal guy. He's like Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's like that. He's just he's a charming young man. There's no downside to this guy. And especially with what he's done with his game. He is dropping dimes right now. He's not area code throwing where he just throws it up and guys are making contested catches with guys hanging all over him. Did you watch last week's game against Pittsburgh? In the first half, the 3 touchdowns to A.J. Brown, 2 of them were absolute thread the needle over the shoulder. I just caught the ball for you dimes from Jalen Hurts. Wait a second. Braun Witten is on hold? Braun Witten has called the show right here. Hell yeah, let's bring him on. Braun Witten, get in here, man. Honestly, I'm not sure how to do it. Anthony and Bennett, do you guys do that or do I do that? But nevertheless, Braun Witten, if you're out there and you can hear me, come on in. We're on Bettor Sports Network here. Braun, congratulations on winning the Jalen Hurts signed autographed full-size Eagles helmet, man. How do you feel about that?
Awesome. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate it. All I need now is a Eagles win versus this Houston Texans team.
I love it. So, Braun, let's chat a little bit here. It's so cool. You, by the way, are the first caller we have had. Okay, you're the first one for me, I should say. Probably other shows, but the first one I have taken. So this is like transcended for us just here as a young launching network here on Bettor Sports Network. Is Braun your name? Is it a nickname? Is your full name LeBron? I was saying, like, Braun Witten is a dope name. That's a ball player name, man. So is that your name or is that a nickname?
No, that's my middle name. I appreciate that. The first name is Christopher, but I've been going with Braun since first. So,
oh my God, that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Christopher was like a little bit too sainty for me, so I guess my mother knew.
Come on, man. Come on. Your parents got to be like, yo, you made the right call here. We don't want to take back your first name, but Braun is pretty damn dope. It really is. Braun Witten is a cool name, dude.
Hey, Rick, I was listening to you talk about my Eagles, and I'm glad you brought up Jalen Hurts, and I'm really glad you brought up Justin Fields because these quarterbacks, like Jalen Hurts is revolutionizing the way that these offensive systems are being called because you're seeing so much of the college game quarterbacks. And now what you're seeing, and I'm sorry, I get a little bit of an echo, so it's kind of hard for me to
Oh, you're good. It's fine.
But what we were talking about was that these quarterbacks that come in, and Jalen Hurts came in on a great team, second-round pick. Then you load them up with one of the best offensive lines. You have a great tight end, and then you bring that what is it, Devontae Smith won the Heisman, and then you bring in A.J. Brown, and what a difference has he made? I mean, what a difference. He looks like, it's just crazy. So that's just my brief opinion. You're seeing the Stephon Diggs type effect with the A.J. Brown, what he did with, what's his name, Josh Allen up in Buffalo. So I'm absolutely loving this. And I love exactly what you're saying. I couldn't agree more with what you were saying about Jalen Hurts. So,
Bron, I like what you just said there about the Diggs effect because he did transform Josh Allen, and Josh obviously put in a lot of work. He's become a much more accurate passer. He's now able to throw with touch and like velocity. Right? He's got gears now. He can, he's not necessarily a change the arm slot guy, but he can feather it. He can OTS it. He can drill it in there if he has to. And we're seeing those progressions from Jalen Hurts this year. A little bit last year, but that was my thing with Jalen coming into this year and it's literally the same with both guys. I know Jalen Hurts is special with his feet. I know this, okay? He's Vick-ish. He's Lamar Jackson-ish. He's literally that good. I know about Justin Fields. He is literally that good with his feet. And I know they can throw the ball through a wall, through a building, whatever that cliche is. But you know this, Bron. You have to be a big-time quarterback in the National Football League. You've got to be able to make feathery throws, touch throws. It can't just be the million-mile-an-hour fastball every single time. It's not going to work. And Justin Fields has gotten better in that regard, but Justin is not as evolved in that regard as Jalen Hurts. Like Bron, tell the people how sick the two of the touchdown passes were to A.J. Brown in that Pittsburgh game. Those over-the-shoulder joints.
I'm going to tell you, I always get on Jalen Hurts because of his accuracy. And those passes in particular, I couldn't say anything. But I do want to say this. When you bring in an A.J. Brown type receiver and you are throwing the ball to him, like those 50-50 balls aren't 50-50. It's like an 80-20. Like he's a monster when it comes time to that. And that gives your quarterback more confidence to actually air it out. He's not going to, the defensive back isn't going to steal the ball from him. It's not going to get in the position. So, yeah, with that being said, it's incredible. Justin Fields, I feel bad for him. Nobody's blocking for him. He has nobody to throw to. And, like, some of the play calling at times, it's a little iffy. So, Justin Fields, great quarterback. I think the Bears are doing the right thing by blowing everything up because if you watch, that kid is running for his life every time he drops back.
There's no doubt about it, Bron. No doubt about it. Look, we're trying to build this community right here, the Bettor Sports Network community, and giving away great collectibles like this, having chats with awesome people, very, very informed sports fans like you out there. Please keep listening to us, all the shows, and get involved in the contest and playing fantasy and betting on games. And Bron, we're here for you, man. We appreciate you and congratulations again.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Rick. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, man. Bron Witten, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we're breaking ground here. We're breaking ground. The first call that I have taken. I'm excited about that. I really am. Let's see. One of you guys made a comment out here about that was pretty fun. Dave Poland says, "We got a caller!" Exclamation point. That's hilarious, Dave. Dave, by the way, has been here. He is literally the, I guess the P1 is sort of the radio term. I mean, you all are, but Dave Poland has literally been here since opening night here with your boy Cam. And I love seeing all these names in here. Better Bosses in here. Matt Deutsch, what's up, brother? Who else is in here? Frankie Pugs, what up? Frankie Pugs been in here for a minute. Anthony Rivera behind the glass. We got Bennett Carroll behind the glass. Better Al is in here. Frankie Pugs said Johnny B and I should be in a mafia movie with the names we got. Frankie Pugs and Johnny B. Gosh, you are right about that. Frankie Pugs says, I need to win that helmet so I can put a little voodoo curse on the Eagles, LOL. Well, Bron Witten got it, man. Let's see what else is going on here. It's congratulations for Bron from Frankie Pugs. I'm having fun, man. I'm having a blast. Let's check in on these games, shall we? Eagles and Texans. The Eagles are on the board again with a touchdown. They lead now 14-7. So they're on pace, I would say, to cover this 14-point spread. I gave you Philadelphia minus 14 tonight. We have a couple of touchdowns for Philadelphia, neither of them through the air. Miles Sanders scored on the ground. Kenny Gainwell just got in on the ground for Philadelphia. The random, not to be anticipated, can't believe it just happened, Kenny Gainwell touchdown. Like, it's really the Miles Sanders show, but here we go. Jalen Hurts has gone from -4 yards to -2 yards. So we're inching towards 42.5 and not looking good on that one. Miles Sanders, by the way, I was off. His number was 77.5 or something like that. He's well on pace for that. He's got 54 yards here against the Texans. Absolutely butt-rotten run defense, and he's really spreading the wealth. Let's see, Jeremy Pena, did he leave the yard? Jeremy Pena, did he leave the yard? It looks like he left the yard. Jeremy Pena with a home run off of Noah Syndergaard right here in the top of the fourth inning. No outs for the Astros, and so they've got a few more cracks here. Fourth postseason home run for Jeremy Pena, and Thor has been pitching pretty well. He really has, but he just gave up a dinger. It was one of those moonshots. Off the bat, it was not an obvious home run. It was a 350-foot home run. Obviously, it's a very hitting-friendly park there in Philadelphia. It looked like a pop fly to left field. Carried, cleared the wall, home run. Houston, they lead 2-1 right now. And Verlander has settled in nicely. I'll check the box score on Houston and Philadelphia here in just a moment. But kind of looking here at Thursday Night Football, what can I tell you from the Eagles here? Brown leads them with 40 yards, and Syndergaard is out of the game, folks. 44 pitches, and now the Phillies will go into their bullpen, and that was a hanger. A hanger. What do you do with a hanger? You put stuff on it, and you hang it. I'm trying to work an analogy for a home run, and I'm not. So I kind of talked myself into a corner right there. Anyway, it was a hanging curveball by Noah Syndergaard, and Jeremy Pena said, "Really, dude? Dong!" and hit it out of the yard, and it is 2-1 Houston right now. Long way to go. We're in the fourth inning. Philip Dorsett, he lives, he's alive. 42 yards to lead the Texans in receiving yards. Damian Pierce on his way to covering. I went over on his rushing yards at 66.5. He's at 43 right now. Davis Mills at 69 yards passing, pretty much all of it on the first drive of the game. We went under on him at 212 passing yards. And so far, so good with that. Wow. The Orlando Magic have stormed back to take a lead on the Golden State Warriors. In the there's two NBA games tonight. Denver at OKC is off my radar. Golden State, for obvious reasons, and Orlando is because it's Golden State and it's Paulo Banchero, and suddenly kind of sort of my Orlando Magic. But Wendell Carter Jr. is still hanging under his number at 16.5. He's at 14 points. We went under on 16.5. We've already hit on Steph Curry. He went over, I believe, in the third quarter. 27.5 was his number. He's at 28 points in this basketball game right now with his fourth quarter stint coming up. By the way, Steph has 7 threes tonight, and Klay Thompson has 6 threes tonight. They're both cooking. They've got 50 combined points. They'll come back out for the fourth quarter run here in a minute, but they trail by 7. Golden State is right now looking like they're going to lose to the Orlando Magic, who are 1-7 on the year. Wow. 3-6. If Golden State loses this game, they will be 3-6, and they will be 0-5 on the road. Wow. That, my friends, deserves a wow. And I got to copyright the great Chris Myers with that. Chris Myers, Fox. I can't really do it, Chris Myers, but he's one of my faves, and I'm friendly with that man. I think he does an outstanding job. Pena, by the way, creeping like a creeper on World Series MVP. Remember, he had the knock that drove in the first run of this game. His World Series average now is up to 368. Let me just check here. I'm on ESPN.com. Is that his World Series average, or is that his playoff average? Let me just check here real quick. His game log. Oh, God, I'm not going to be able to figure it out. So I don't know if that's a playoff batting average right there or a World Series average. So I'll just eat that. I don't know. So, but Pena, we talked about it. Tucker and Bregman had the best odds to win World Series MVP, but they hadn't really separated from the pack. Tucker had separated from Bregman, but Pena now with 2 hits, 2 RBI, a home run. That's a good look for him. I would say actually that Jeremy Pena right now is back on the radar for World Series MVP with his early game exploits here in Game 5. Brogdon on the mound for Philadelphia, facing Yordan Alvarez, and this is potentially a problem. We have a right-hander. He is not one of their better bullpen guys. Let me look into Brogdon right here. I mean, when you think about Hand, Robertson, of course, Dominguez and Alvarado, who's been good but wasn't last night. Syndergaard, by the way, made it through 44 pitches and gave up 2 earned over 3 innings. And so we were right about him being basically an opener for this game. I mean, the first sign of trouble, they went to get him. Connor Brogdon during the regular season, 3.27 ERA, 125 WHIP, couple of saves, like very normal. Like he's not, oh my God, Connor Brogdon is being, he's in the game and oh my God, like nothing will happen. He actually just struck out Alvarez on a high fastball, 96 miles an hour. Yordan Alvarez, by the way, has sucked in the World Series. Bruh, where's your game at? He's 0 for 2 here tonight. Obviously, the regular season was sensational. And in the World Series, let me see here. Let me do some quick math here. He had 2 hits in the first 7 and 8. 2 hits in the first 15 at bat. He's 2 of 17 in the World Series right now. Yordan Alvarez is 2 of 17 in the World Series right now. Wow. I'd be like going down Choke Artist Boulevard and all this kind of stuff, but the body of work isn't big enough. You know what I mean? When you talk about Aaron Judge, his playoff run goes back to 2017. He's a playoff choke artist. Talk about Justin Verlander in the World Series. This goes back with all these other World Series appearances. He's got a 6 ERAs, 0-6, and all that. He's a World Series choke artist. I'm waiting for that choke artistry actually to rear its ugly head. We have not seen it yet in this game. Verlander, 1 earned in 3 innings, 3 hits allowed, 4 walks allowed, which is weird, and 2 strikeouts. He did give up a home run to Schwarber. I don't know why I say it that way. I don't mean to disrespecting young man. And here's a laser beam off the bat of Bregman, and it is just off the top of the wall. Oh, he missed a home run by a foot. And they almost threw him out at second base. The ball squirted over to first base, and here come the Stros, man. So I'm telling you, Bregman, that was a laser beam, barely over Schwarber's head in left field, and it hit. We'll see a replay here to see exactly where it hit, but there wasn't any like fuzz whether it was a home run or not. It definitely was not a home run. It hit the little plant garden they have out there, with the little. No, it actually hit right in front of it. There's like a railing, I guess, a partition of sorts, and it hit that. It definitely did not leave the yard, but it almost did. So Bregman at second here with 1 out, and Brogdon here on the mound. And again, this is just perilous for Philadelphia. Absolutely perilous. They needed Syndergaard to give him 5 innings tonight and get to the ball. I mean, Brogdon, and now we're in the 4th inning, starting with the parade of relief pitchers. This is advantage Houston. And really the only thing that can save Philadelphia right now is Justin Verlander resorting to chokitude and the Philly bats starting to sizzle, which, 7 runs a game at home coming into last night. And of course they got buzzsawed last night, no hit. But this is going, the Phillies are going to have to win now. What I think, oh my God, Kyle Tucker just hit it a mile foul. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are you feeling what I'm feeling? Like this is maybe about to get out of hand from the Philly side. Wow. I mean, he literally hit that ball 800 feet. Foul. Woo! Philly has to bridge from Brogdon to Sir Anthony Dominguez and go, like, think about it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 innings of bullpen? This isn't going to work, man. This isn't going to work. The only way it works is if Philly turns it into a 8-7, 6-5 type of game. Because the Astros, they ain't done scoring, man. They're putting more runs on the board here. Live betting, I don't have these numbers in front of me. Maybe some of you guys do. Let's play around with this. This is a major development in favor of the Astros. Maybe the line is already adjusted in this favor. Maybe it hasn't, though. We're 2-1 right now. It's still a very tight game, still very early, so maybe lines haven't adjusted all that much. But live betting purposes, this is advantage Houston right now. They're already into the Philadelphia bullpen. They're already in it. And Tucker just hit a ball 800 feet. Bregman was 1 foot away from hitting another home run. Pena just hit a blast off this guy Brogdon. Pardon me, off Syndergaard. So let me see here. 2-2 pitch, 1 out to Tucker. And it has swung on and missed, and he struck him out. 2 outs now in the top of the 4th inning. All right, let's take a break right here. And I'll come back and obviously keep my eye on all of this stuff. But let's talk about this big news and big breaking news in the NBA. Kyrie Irving has been suspended at least 5 games by the Brooklyn Nets. We'll get into the hows and the whys, and we'll really take a deep dive into this when we come back. It is Rick Campbell. We're watching World Series Game 5. We're watching Thursday Night Football. We're watching Golden State in Orlando, and we're about to come back and wonder what in the heck is going on with Kyrie Irving. Why won't he just apologize? For the love of God, I'm Rick Campbell. We're Better Sports Live.
At it again with your BSN timeout, and today we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, that is the futures market for the upcoming college basketball season. With me, as always, the captain of our ship at Green Screens Media, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, why don't you kick us off with some favorites that you think are still good bets to place?
Yeah, let's go with national runner-up North Carolina, plus 140 to win the ACC, plus 900 to win the national championship. Core 4 players are back: Baycott, Love, Davis, and Black. Coach Hubert Davis entering year 2 with confidence. The loss of Brady Manick is tough, but Northwestern transfer Pete Nance will help soften that blow. Let's slide over to the Pac-12. Some West Coast action, plus 190 to win the Pac-12, plus 1,600 for UCLA to win the national championship. Coach Mick Cronin has done a fantastic job building up this powerhouse program. At 2 stars, Tiger Campbell and Jaime Jaquez coming back, as well as 2 5-star freshmen, Amari Bailey and Adam Bona. This team is loaded and ready to make a run.
Love the Bruins this year. I'm going to go for the repeat. Kansas Jayhawks plus 215 to win the Big 12, plus 1,300 to win it all. It's a young team, right? They lost a lot of pieces from this title team last year, but managed to retain Jalen Wilson and DeJuan Harris and reloaded with a bunch of 5-star talent. Might take a minute for this team to click, but ultimately Bill Self is a proven winner. Really like them for those 1,300 natty odds. Other side of the coin, underdogs and values. Mike, where are you going to get a little bit of juice in your futures bets?
Yeah, let's go to the wide open Big Ten. Ohio State plus 1,100. Loss of EJ Liddell and Malachi Branham to the NBA was tough, but can be relying on a lot of freshmen early on, like Bryce Sensabaugh, Tanner Holden, and Sam McNeil coming through in the transfer portal. His team has question marks, but they may have answers by midseason. Let's slide on over to the ACC as well, plus 2,000 for Notre Dame. They finished tied for second in the ACC last year. They returned a veteran squad, includes lethal 3-point shooters Cormac Ryan, Dane Goodwin, Nate Lejeski. Incoming 5-star guard J.J. Starling could be the X factor.
Plus 2,000 to win the conference. They came in second in last year. I love that call. For me, I'll go the Tennessee Volunteers plus 3,000 to win the national title. This is a team that won the SEC tournament last year. Rick Barnes, we know, can recruit, so he has an absolutely loaded team top to bottom. Guys like Triple J and Vescovi are legit difference makers in this league, so love them at that plus 3,000 price. Last category, player of the year. Mike, who do you like to bring home the Wooden Award?
Let's go with the long shot, Keontae George from Baylor, plus 6,000. Freshman No Strangers winning the National Player of the Year. He lit it up in the Global Jam this past summer. He's a 3-level scorer, plus defender, one of the top NBA prospects.
I'll go chalk here. Armando Baycott, plus 900. We talk about the Tar Heels as a favorite to win it all. Baycott has a lot to do with it. Last year, 16 and 13, almost 2 blocks per game, and can legitimately take a step forward on this loaded Tar Heels team. That will do it for your BSN timeout. Make sure you stay locked to the Better Sports Network and check out Green Screens Media on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube so you don't miss a minute of our college basketball coverage. Green Screens Media.
Texans go with Baxter and I. Second and goal at the 2. Mills fakes the handoff, throws it left side of the end zone. Caught by Couturier. Touchdown, Houston.
And it's 4th and goal from the 2. And in for the touchdown goes Miles Sanders, his 6th of the season. Gainwell lines up in the pistol. behind Hurts. Hurts takes the snap. Hurts gives it to Gainwell. Gainwell has a touchdown.
All right, you hear some of the calls there of Thursday Night Football from Texans Radio with Mark Vandermeer, my former colleague there at down in Houston on the home of the Texans. Really nice guy and a fine play-by-play man. And then I don't know the man's name. I know he's venerable. I know he's legendary, but his name is escaping me. The Philadelphia radio play-by-play man. He's been doing it for a long time. And it is your boy Cam, Rick Kamla here on Bettor Sports Live. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning in Game 5 of the World Series. Verlander on the mound and a nice curveball here to John Segura. Verlander, I got to give him credit, man. After the dinger to Schwarber, and he's gotten out of a couple of jams, including a bases loaded jam, he's actually trying to sort of reverse this World Series curse. He's at 56 pitches in the bottom of the fourth inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch to John Segura, and he watches it sail outside, 1-1 the count. All right, so what did I want to do here? Let me see if we're at halftime yet. We're not, but we're tied up with Thursday Night Football, 14-14. Good ball game. Mills has a couple of touchdown passes, one to Catariano. You heard it was good to hear Vandermeer say that, right? I know how to say his name now. Catariano. Okay, I can work with that. Segura is out. He tapped it to shortstop and he threw him out. It was a close play at first. And who else has the touchdown here? Chris Moore has a touchdown for the Houston Texans. You're like, who the hell is Chris Moore? He's their slot guy. And because they have nobody else to throw to, they're now throwing the ball to him. That's who that is. 24 seconds left. Philly has the ball, and I'm not sure if they're going to do anything with it here, but it's 14-14, about to be halftime of Thursday Night Football. Golden State and Orlando might be going to overtime. I DVR'd the game so I can watch it when I get off the air here tonight, at least the last portion of the game. It's 123-122 GSW over Orlando. And as I said, 2-1 with the Astros and the Phillies. Now, we have big news out of the NBA. And it comes from ESPN. I got to read the article here. This is the first I've seen of this, right? So I haven't read it and vet it and, done all kind of, doing this live on the air here. So I'm going to read this report from ESPN, react to it, and we'll get the news out this way. The Brooklyn Nets suspended Kyrie Irving for at least 5 games without pay Thursday, dismayed by his repeated failure to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs. Hours after Irving refused to issue the apology, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver sought for posting a link to an anti-Semitic work on his Twitter feed. The Nets said Irving is, quote, currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. Wow. I agree. First of all, I don't want you to get it twisted. I agree. We've never gone down this road before. I mean, it's like all of these firsts, right? The pandemic, the vaccine thing, there's all these firsts, COVID shredding the league, whenever the holiday season comes, which is right around the corner. And hopefully that doesn't happen again this year, but it might. I've been covering the NBA, paid to cover the NBA since the mid 1990s with fanball.com. 2003, I started working with NBA TV. I was on TV on NBA TV for 17 years. And I've been with NBA radio for about 5 years now. I've been covering the NBA professionally since the mid 1990s. I've never said these words before. Verlander just struck out Brandon Marsh, by the way. Currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. They said in a statement, we were dismayed today when given an opportunity in a media session that Kyrie refused to unequivocally say he has no anti-Semitic beliefs, nor acknowledge specific hateful material in the film. This was not the first time he had the opportunity, but failed to clarify, the Nets said in this statement. Quote, such failure to disavow anti-Semitism when given a clear opportunity to do so is deeply disturbing, is against the values of our organization, and constitutes conduct detrimental to the team. Accordingly, we are of the view that he is currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. I like this. This should have happened before now, though. I'm not going to bang on him. You know what I'm saying? I'm nitpicking right now. But the fiasco of a press conference on Saturday night with Nick Friedel of ESPN, who was not like grilling Kyrie, but just asking him a question, right? And Kyrie was like, "You're dehumanizing me," and all this kind of stuff. No, he wasn't. He was asking you a legitimate journalistic question because you retweeted on your Twitter feed an anti-Semitic film that glamorizes Adolf Hitler. Are you serious? Are you serious? How? Why? And you've had an opportunity given by me, given by everybody, Adam Silver, the Brooklyn Nets, everybody in the NBA is looking at him like, where are we going with this? Are you an anti-Semite or not? Are you sorry? Do you feel like you made a mistake here or not? Are you going to allow this to shred your career? It appears he is. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nasty curveball by Verlander, by the way, to strike out Schwarber and get out of the fourth. And Kate Upton is loving it in Philadelphia. You've got to be kidding me, man. Okay? And he acts all surly in these the press conference earlier today, and he shot back at one of the reporters saying, I didn't make the film. We get it, Kyrie. We know you didn't make the film. But you retweeted the film on your Twitter feed and left it up there for 3 days before deleting it. And within that 3 days was nothing but a crap storm upon you. You knew that you had to remove it, but you didn't. You defied it and you rebelled against it. And you didn't say you were sorry or say you're not an anti-Semite in your press conference last Saturday. Then the Nets put a muzzle on him. Sean Marks, remember the day they fired Steve Nash? He had to also talk about the Kyrie Irving thing. And he mentioned stuff like, well, you know, we're going to let it simmer down. We're going to allow cooler heads to prevail. We don't want to expose Kyrie Irving to the media and have him interact with actual human beings and create more fuss. Fuss is the actual word that he used. That's right. The GM of the Nets used the word fuss. I'm paraphrasing most of the rest. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. No, Kyrie needs to address the media as soon as possible. He did him a favor. Kyrie Irving doesn't even want to address the media ever. He doesn't like the media. What did he call us? Stooges or pawns or something like that? In one of his asinine social media posts many years ago, he called us all pawns and stuff like that. The team should have been like, the sooner we can get Kyrie Irving into a press conference to tell the world that he's not an anti-Semite, the sooner we can get him into a press conference so he can apologize for this unbelievably foolish decision, the better. But no, they shielded him and they protected him from the media and allowed it to fester and fester and fester. And it really ultimately doesn't really matter because through that whole process, Kyrie Irving hasn't changed his mind about this at all. And it makes you wonder, okay, you're not going to apologize for this. So when you don't apologize about something, it means you don't feel you did anything wrong. I mean, think about it like with your wife, with your husband or whatever, right? We have disagreements, okay? And there are some disagreements you're like, man, I totally screwed up. And there are other disagreements you're like, I didn't screw up here. I'm not apologizing. I don't think I did anything wrong, okay? And I'm putting into like the husband and wife type of terms. And sometimes you acquiesce and all that kind of stuff. You just say sorry to keep it moving, right? But that's an example of like regular life and not a major controversy like this, where you dig in and you're like, no, I didn't make a mistake. I'm not wrong here. I'm not apologizing. But it applies in sort of that way here. Okay, like why not just apologize? Like literally, he could just lie and give literally, he's been in movies, he's acted, he could literally just act and say, oh, I'm so sorry for what I said. I made such a mistake. I'm so deeply sorry and regretful for all the people I hurt. And like, he should say that and mean it, right? True from the heart, genuine, sincere, all that stuff. That's what we should be hearing. And it should be sincere and genuine. But he could literally come out and just say those words and not mean them. He could. He won't even do that. He won't even do that. So the whole world is looking for an apology, but specifically the Jewish community. Okay? We all can acknowledge that any form of anti-Semitism is god-awful and atrocious and hideous, and there's no place for it in any country, in any year that we've ever lived here on planet Earth. Yet, he puts an anti-Semitic film, a gross anti-Semitic film. I've not watched this film. I have read from journalists who have watched this film, and it's terrible. It's not kind of terrible. It's not partially terrible. It's terrible. It's as bad as you think it is. It's a film about anti-Semitism and about, non-truths and allegations and conspiracy theories and just frankly wild ass ideas that are hurtful and offensive and dangerous. And Kyrie Irving is proliferating that? Are you mad? I'm mad. But I tell you what, my Jewish brothers and sisters, your Jewish brothers and sisters, they have every right and reason to be just furious about this. How dare you and go from 0 to 100 and be as mad and hot as you can possibly be about something. Dang right they should be. This is absolutely unbelievable from Kyrie Irving. Let's go back to this article here. The Nets said they made multiple attempts in recent days to help Irving understand the harm and danger of his words and actions. But it was clear during the point guard's interview after practice earlier Thursday that had changed little. And again, he was very standoffish, very short answer, very combative, all of that stuff once again, just like he was on Saturday night. And by the way, Nets PR cut the interview short. It was 6 minutes long, and they ultimately just cut it short and said, that's it, we're moving on here. And I at that point, they might have been like, I want to get mad, why did you do that? Why did you let him off the hook? It might have been the point where Nets PR was just like, all right, he's not going to do what we wanted him to do. He's not going to make a contrite apology. He is not going to say he's not an anti-Semite. So screw it. We're just going to end the press conference. And almost let's just call it off. He's not complying with the plan here. He's not. So let's just all move on with our lives. And let's get on with the suspension here. Irving again refused to apologize, saying only that he meant no harm. He said some things in the name of the movie is, quote, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America. He said that some things in the movie were untrue, but he didn't say he shouldn't have posted a link to it. Here's the thing, and I said this on NBA radio earlier today with Amin Al-Hassan. What do you mean some of? What do you mean some of? Some of the things in this anti-Semitic film were untrue. So you believe some of the stuff in this anti-Semitic film. And there are beliefs in this anti-Semitic film that you can't rock with. He said, I'm not the one who made the documentary, but you're the one that is promoting and proliferating and disseminating this hideous, gross, dangerous documentary. So again, it's all deflection. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I just reposted it. Bro, you jumped right into bed with the filmmaker of this hideous film. You jumped right into bed with him. You associated yourself with him. You linked yourself to him. You did that. The filmmaker did not do that. You did that. Let me continue on with the article here. It's Rick Hamill on Bettor Sports Live, foaming at the mouth about Kyrie Irving right now. Kyrie was later asked whether he had anti-Semitic beliefs, and he did not say no. He said, quote, I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. Huh? Huh? Oh, you can be anti-Semitic and know where you come from. You can. I'm not saying Kyrie Irving is anti-Semitic. I don't know. It's a gray area here. He might be, he might not. He should be coming out and definitively defending himself and his honor and his reputation, saying, I am not an anti-Semite. He should be screaming it from the top of the Empire State Building. Yet he's not. That's a problem. How can I be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from? Bro, you're gaslighting us right now. That's a gaslighting comment right there. It is. It's throw us off the scent, lie, deny, and eventually this will move on, and the news cycle will move on to something else. And no, we're not moving on. We're right here, still standing right outside your door. Again, if you issue a heartfelt apology, and it is actually a heartfelt apology, that means that you made a mistake. You know you made a mistake. You'll never make the mistake again. And you say, also, I want you all to understand, just without a shadow of a doubt, I am not an anti-Semite. Why can't he do these things? Because he doesn't want to. That's why. Why doesn't he want to? I'm not going to answer that question because it's kind of open to our interpretation and people to draw conclusions and that kind of thing. And, I'm a broadcaster on a big platform here. I don't want to say too much. But I'll just leave that open-ended for you. I've got my thoughts on it. You've got your thoughts on it. And so we'll leave that part sort of unsaid. The ESPN article continues here. The Anti-Defamation League CEO, Jonathan Greenblatt, reacted to a video of Irving's response to the question on Twitter by writing, the answer to the question, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs, is always no without equivocation. We took at Kyrie Irving at his word when he said he took responsibility, but today he did not make good on that promise, Greenblatt added. Kyrie clearly has a lot of work to do. A day earlier, Irving and the Nets announced, in conjunction with the Anti-Defamation League, that each would be donating $500,000 to anti-hate causes. Kyrie Irving, out of his pocket, $500,000. The Nets, out of their pocket, $500,000. Okay. To start, it's a gesture, but it is an empty gesture. And I'm not even sure that these groups want that money from Kyrie. The Nets are trying to do the right thing here. Kyrie, to me, is just throwing money at a problem. He is not addressing or attacking the problem by saying that he's not an anti-Semite and by saying that he's painfully and regretfully sorry for posting this anti-Semitic film on his Twitter feed. Let's just throw some money at it. People will think I'm a good guy. People will have a different outlook on me if I throw $500,000 at this issue. Misplayed. You should have just kept the $500,000. Because clearly, to me, that's hush money. It's an attempt at hush money. It's not going to work, though. The way you hush people is to let us know unequivocally that you are not an anti-Semite and that you are painfully sorry for what you did. $500,000 is not going to cure that or change that in anybody's mind. Nobody. Anthony Rivera is telling me that the ADL did not accept the money. Anthony Rivera, thank you for that nugget right there. Like, I wouldn't either. I don't want your money. You keep your money. You don't mean it. I'm not buying it. Unbelievable. And so, all right, the article continues here. After the Nets announced Irving's suspension, Greenblatt tweeted, "We were optimistic, but after watching the debacle of a press conference, it's clear that Kyrie feels no accountability for his actions. At ADL cannot, in good conscience, accept his donation." Silver also called for accountability from Irving earlier on Thursday. Adam Silver, that is, the NBA commissioner, the best commissioner in sports on planet Earth. I love Adam Silver. I don't think Adam Silver handled the Robert Sarver situation perfectly, but I still love Adam Silver. He writes, "While we appreciate the fact that he agreed to work with the Nets and the Anti-Defamation League to combat anti-Semitism and other forms of discrimination. I am disappointed that he has not offered an unqualified apology and more specifically denounced the vile and harmful content contained in the film he chose to publicize. That's the thing right there. He has tried to distance himself from this film, kinda, but not really, but kinda. He deleted the tweet that had the film in it on his Twitter account. And he's danced around stuff saying like, I'm all for love and tree hugging and loving all people and accepting and respecting all people. He said specifically, I respect all walks of life. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you respected all walks of life, including Jewish people, you would not be retweeting an anti-Semitic film. You do not respect all walks of life. Pretty clear. That was a breach of that respect of all walks of life. It's a bunch of garbage. He doesn't respect all walks of life. If he did, he wouldn't be doing any of this. I'd be talking about sports right now instead of this damn garbage. Silver said in the statement that he would be meeting with Irving in person within the next week. And let me see if there's anything else here in this article. All right, I lost my way here. I don't even know, but you get the idea. So now let's look forward a little bit here, people. Let's look forward a little bit here. Kyrie Irving has been suspended for at least 5 games. I believe that this is an indefinite suspension based on how he reacts. Now, because he's suspended, there will not be another press conference. He might go to Instagram Live or post a video on Twitter, something like that, for all of us to see. And he could basically hold his own press conference, put it on his Twitter feed. The whole world will be talking about it. But there will be no press conference now. He had his opportunity. He had one on Saturday night. He had one earlier today at the Nets practice facility. There will not be another press conference. His opportunity to make this right, and at this point, I'll be honest with you. At this point, even if he came out with an apology and it says, I am definitively not an anti-Semite, I have a hard time believing it. Is that your truth? Usually your truth is the first thing that comes out. Usually your truth is the first thing that comes out. The knee jerk, the first thing that comes to your mind, that first impression or whatever. And then, all right, my truth wasn't really well received. I'm in a lot of trouble here. All right, so let me spin and say this. Okay, so he's had 2 opportunities. He has not done it. And so now if he goes to Twitter and says, I am not an anti-Semite, I am truly sorry and deeply regret what I did, all this kind of stuff, it is going to smack as disingenuous. Even if he does it now. So we're all clamoring for him to do it. But even if he does it, did it really hit the bullseye? After, he's on an 0-2 count right now. Struck out the first time on Saturday, struck out earlier today. Are we throwing the ball to him again? Or are we good with the 0-2 count and that's what we need to see? That's interesting. Bryce Harper with a laser beam to right field, and it's kicked into the corner by Kyle Tucker. Harper's going to take second base. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning here. 2 outs. Harper on second base. Verlander now at 84 pitches. And, obviously, if he gets in a jam right here, Dusty may have to come out and get him. He may not even get out of the 5th. But wanted to tell you Harper with a rocket shot. And I love Bryce Harper to get a hit tonight. Taylor Mathis told us yesterday he's got a hit in every game in the playoffs. I love that prop bet to get a hit here tonight. Will Kyrie Irving play again this year? Will Kyrie Irving play in the NBA ever again? These now are legitimate questions. Can you believe I'm asking that question right now? Will Kyrie Irving play in the NBA again this year? Will Kyrie Irving ever play in the NBA again? These are legitimate questions right now. Name a team, please name a team that wants to sign up for the Kyrie Irving experience, knowing what's going on here. Name me a team. I'll wait. The Los Angeles Lakers, I know they're right on the tip of your tongue. All the offseason talk, reuniting with LeBron, Russell Westbrook going to Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving going out to LA. Why would the Lakers want him? Why? The Lakers actually have a low-key, early-going love fest going on with Russ coming off the bench. They're 2-1. Russ's numbers are way up. The whole vibe of the team has changed with him coming off the bench. Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to trade for Kyrie Irving? Why would they want to? And they would have to give up. I mean, I don't know anymore, all right, with all this. But the whole talk has been you got to give up the future picks in 2027 and 2029 and Russell Westbrook. And then you would get Kyrie Irving and like Seth Curry would go back out to LA. Why would you do that? The Lakers don't want to give up the future picks anyway. Why would you do it for Kyrie Irving? Why would you do it for this guy? The most enigmatic, mercurial, unpredictable human being in North American professional sports. The most unreliable human being in North American professional sports. Who? I'll wait. Do you know how many doors will be closed on Kyrie Irving? It makes me think of Colin Kaepernick and that gigantic pile of SIJT that he takes a knee protesting police brutality and violence against Black people who, like did nothing to deserve what they got. All he wanted was to protect Black people who were in harm's way and against police brutality and against hate crimes and all this kind of stuff. Well, he hates the flag. He doesn't like the military. He's being disrespectful. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was making a stand against violence against Black people. And all of us should have been right there with him. So the NFL blackballs him and Eric Reed, the safety for the Niners. They took a knee. They got blackballed. Guess what they got in a settlement from the National Football League? $10 million that they had to split. They should have gotten tens of millions of dollars, maybe over $100 million. They got $10 million. What a farce. What a joke. Those guys got blackballed for standing up for Black people. How stupid is that? Kyrie Irving, we have a big question about him right now. Is he an anti-Semite or not? Is he sorry for what he did or not? We know what Colin Kaepernick was doing. It was genuine, heartfelt, trying to protect Black people in harm's way. Kyrie Irving, we don't know if he's all of these other like really, really ugly, despicable things. I legit think that we may have seen the last of Kyrie Irving in the NBA, playing in the NBA. I'm telling you, I'm not like guaranteeing it or saying it definitively. I'm saying it's a definite possibility that he's done and he's never going to play in the NBA again. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, guys, I'm out. We'll see you again tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Big thanks to our guest, Matt Donnelly, and we had Johnny VTV on as well. Big thanks to Braun Witten for calling the show, and congrats on winning the Hertz helmet. We got some gear to give away tomorrow involving DJ Moore. I'm Cam. Big thanks to Bennett Carroll and Anthony Rivera behind the glass. We'll see you tomorrow night at Better Sports Live.